poppin' YouTube? It's your boy KiteZz here, my lovely wife. It's just Alex.
What's up, peoples?
And I'm up here with my moderator, Hefty Nitro, Big Nitro, aka the realest Nitro.
What's good?
Also, we are here with the lovely, wonderful, fantabulous flock. Shout out to everybody that popped out. Shout out to everybody that's in the YouTube chat right now. If you guys are not aware of what's happening right now in the world, and especially in my state, there is a civil unrest between ICE, the president, our governor, all that. It's happening right now. It's going crazy. I never will stand for people snatching their kids up. I'll never stand for people snatching families away from each other. I feel like at the end of the day, if you're going to make a big deal about immigration and you feel like immigration is this and you feel like people need to follow the laws and all that, I understand that. I say, one, you need to make your immigration process more clear, because there are people I've known out here in Cali that have been through the process and they've been waiting through the process for years and they've done it legitly and they're still waiting. So let's keep it a cent. That's what I'm not liking about, there's always these narratives being spoken about the situation of people saying like, everybody has to do the process the right way. Everybody has to do the process the right way, but it's also coming from people who were born here that never have to do the process to begin with. You don't know what the process looks like.
The process is skewed. The system is messed up.
But people don't want to talk about that fact. People want people to just act like our system is so perfect where if you do everything the right way, it'll automatically work out the perfect way. That's not true. There have been people that get rejected from the process and they do everything right. There's people that do the process and they get looked down on, they get shunned out, they don't get accepted because they don't want to do something or whatever. Like, we don't talk about how messed up the system is. But I also am in the advocate of, just because the system's messed up also doesn't mean you don't try it.
Yeah.
And this is why we haven't made no videos about this subject, because I'm not all leaning one side, all leaning the other. I draw the line when you start separating families. That's where I'm like, I ain't jacking that, because there are immigrants that are in here, yes, illegally, that's fair. But y'all are going for the ones that are the hard working ones. Y'all are going for the ones that genuinely are not causing disturbance. If you feel like their status is a problem, then at the end of the day, why not direct that energy of getting their status updated, checking out, hey, have you been going through the process, stuff like that, versus just, nah, at the end of the day, if it ain't legal, get out. It's like, bro, these are the same people that y'all was just hiring to take care of y'all stuff. And my thing is, I don't like that whole mindset of, oh, now that the internet says let's get rid of all of them, that's how I feel all of a sudden, let's get rid of all of them. Y'all wasn't saying let's get rid of all of them when they was fixing your cars. Y'all wasn't saying let's get rid of all of them when they was helping y'all out. Y'all wasn't saying, let's get rid of all of them when y'all was giving little 25-cent DoorDash tips and they didn't understand how the process works and they ain't saying nothing to you. You wasn't saying all that. You wasn't saying all that when they was helping your kids with their bullies. You wasn't saying all that when you feel me? A lot of these people, and there's people that's growing up, they didn't even know they was immigrants. There's kids out here in Cali right now that didn't even know about their legal status until they're getting deported right now. And I understand the parents should have said that, but at the end of the day, the parents also was coming up in a time where, California is one of the states where we weren't, like, the immigration thing was a problem, but we wasn't stressing it like that. So I get why people are saying that. And I get why people feel that way. But at the end of the day, what I don't jack is the lack of empathy. I'm seeing YouTubers that I watch on a daily, I'm cool with, talking about, I don't give a crap if it's a kid, get her out of there. It's like, what? It's a child, bro. Like, I understand y'all feel how y'all feel about the country. I get that. But y'all talking about children like that. I'm hearing grown adult men that are in their 30s and 40s talking about well, that little girl should have got her papers right. Are you serious, bruh? You expect a 12-year-old to go through the United States justice system perfectly, and her parents don't even speak the language? They just coming out here trying to flee what they dealing with? Aren't we supposed to be the mountain pot nation? And my thing is this, it's like, bro, why are we doing that? And we acting like, bro, we've only had control of this continent for so many years. The way y'all be gassing up America, y'all be talking about like we had this much for the last 3,000 years, like we the Roman Empire. Y'all don't want to have a conversation with the Indians, with the Moors. Y'all don't want to have a conversation with all the other people we took the country from. And y'all talking about after, here's the part I'm really not jacking. Y'all talk about after we get rid of these, we gonna get rid of the blacks. It's like, bro, y'all brought us here. We ain't asked to be here. Y'all so quick to get rid of everybody because y'all think that the country gonna be so much better when y'all get rid of all these people that don't think like you, talk like you, walk like you, and act like you. And so now all of a sudden everybody the problem, and it's you. My thing is this, if every single group of people that you're trying to get rid of have also done everything to get you where you're at because of what they've died for, because of what they stood for, because of what happened to them, how dare you have the mindset that, oh, now it's a new system, so let's get, y'all gotta fall in line. Freak going on. And then let's get rid of the misconception, bruh. Immigrants be paying taxes too. Y'all realize that some immigrants pay taxes? So there's citizens right now that don't even pay taxes now.
Yeah.
Y'all got citizens who take their money and put their money offshore, getting on podcasts, talking about they don't even pay taxes, they don't contribute to society. Buddy, your entire account is offshore in Jamaica. In an overseas bank.
Shout out to Jamaica.
Talking about contributing to the country. Bro, I looked up, it's an anime YouTuber in Israel. He moved to Israel talking about we gotta get illegals out of our country. Brother, you're in Israel. If you don't worry about protecting the Holy Land, freak is what he talking about. You supposed to be doing anime reviews. How the freak anime got mixed with politics? Freak wrong with Buddy. You over there, you're in the middle of a war talking about some American politics, but if you don't worry about what's going on over there, you're not even in the country. Bro, I'm seeing people who are not even in the country having opinions about what's happening in the country. I'm seeing people that don't even understand how California works. They have never been to California. They don't understand how much the immigrants impact California in a positive way.
Yeah.
I grew up with them. They've been here. But don't think, oh, because I'm saying all this, I'm not gonna give them their belt too, because I'm gonna give them some belt too. Because this is why I'm neutral in everything. Because I'm not the type of person, I'm not gonna sit here and ignore and act like I've had horrible experience with the immigrants and I'm ready for them to get the freak up out of there. Bro, I'm a Christian. I don't even believe I'm part of this world. I don't give a crap what happens to the planet. My God coming back soon. But one thing is this. He told us to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Demonstrate the love of Christ through your neighbor. I'm seeing Christians over here celebrating people getting separated from their families. Even though the Bible says that the devil comes to what? Steal, kill, and destroy?
Yep.
You don't think separating a whole bunch of offspring from their family where their parents are trying their best to raise those kids, you don't think snatching the kids up out of there is not steal, kill, and destroy? Y'all are Christians celebrating people getting their houses taken from them. You're celebrating people that get up. The Bible says that a man that does not work does not eat. I'm looking at the raids. They raid in Home Depots, bruh. What criminal is thriving to work a 9 to 5? But we only getting rid of the violent illegals, right? Y'all getting rid of babysitters. Y'all getting rid of employees that just work. Y'all getting rid of people that landscape services. Y'all getting rid of the services of people who are not doing anything criminal.
Yeah.
Y'all not getting, I ain't seen y'all in the gang blocks yet. Some of these gang streets is untouched. I'm looking up stories. They talking about one dude got snatched up, and then they checked his ID and he was American citizen. They just dropped him back off. Like, oh, my bad. Like, so y'all not even checking? Y'all just assuming people? But nah, let me get to the real point I'm talking about though, because I said that so people can understand where I'm coming from when I say this. Stop trying to make black people the cornerstone of sacrifice for the cause. Because y'all were literally saying, and this not going towards the Hispanic community, this is going to every other race, that whenever something goes back, the first thing y'all do is try to come to the black community and act like we supposed to be y'all best friend. It's time to unite. It's time to stand together. You guys, our struggle's your struggle. Y'all was just calling us black fatigue last week. Are we forgetting about that? Was we not just talking about black fatigue last week?
Yeah.
Bro, my TikTok is full of every race talking about how they can't stand black people. When we going on a cruise, bruh, there's videos of another cruise, and it's the carnival cruise, and it's black people just celebrating. And it's just full of every race in the comments talking about something. Everything the blacks touch, they ruin. Everything the blacks touch, they ruin. Everything the black touch, they mess up, they dirty up, they mess up. But then when something happened, all of a sudden it's black people, we struggle like y'all. What?
What they do, what's the line they always hit you with when they want us to unite? Martin Luther King wouldn't have wanted us to be like this.
They killed my dog. What you think they gonna do to us? Bro, listen, here's what I don't understand, bro. They kill us for less. They beat black people for less. They be whooping us, discriminating against us, blaming us. If a crime gets committed, there'll be a riot break-in right now. I guarantee you can search any YouTube thing. There will be a group of people looting. It will be 35 of multi-races and 2 black people. And I guarantee you the news will only record the 2 black people. And say that. And then what is the first thing you're going to see in them YouTube comments? The usual suspects, the usual people. I knew it. Once you go black, it's always, and then it's so weird to see how the internet hated us so much. The internet don't like black people so much, hate black people so much. We bring up conversations about how we've been set back because of, the fact that you guys were able to amass wealth because your ancestors had wealth to pass on. But slavery and all the discrimination didn't even get abolished and everything. We just got rid of discrimination. It hasn't even 100 years since discrimination stopped, since Jim Crow system stopped. And when we say that, hey, we don't get the same advantages as y'all, as black people, because we had this disadvantage of the fact that we weren't able to amass wealth. And when we did create wealth, when we did create systems and we did create cities for black people to be black people, and when we did try to discriminate ourselves, what happened? Y'all flood us out and put a lake on top of us.
Still there.
People don't want to talk about the fact that, look at all y'all Great Lakes. Those were cities where black people was thriving at. And then now all of a sudden, everybody know our cause and respect our cause. And when black people were just like you. Stop telling me it's my job as a person of color to go outside and get pepper sprayed. Y'all was just going on us when we was having the protest, right? And my thing is this, I ain't an advocate of BLM because I saw what BLM did with all the money. I saw what BLM did with all that stuff. I don't support that cause. What I do support is black people in general. I don't support the organization, but I can still support what they was talking about. When you talking about racial injustice, I 100% support that, right? Here's what I'm not, Jackie. When we were talking about people getting killed and stuff was happening and we were outside riding and we was marching, there was half of these people that was in there with us and then there was the other half of us saying, aha. Aha. Typical suspects. Aha.
I do want to say, as you're going on, a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, it's here in Canada too.
Oh.
We're the United States little brother or little sister, whatever you want to call it. But most of the stuff, probably what I want to say, 95% of what you are saying and you guys are experiencing over there, we're dealing with it over here. It's just more hush hush.
My thing is this, bro. Black people so hated. Why everybody got exclusive racial word against us in every different culture? You know what they used to call us in high school, bro? They used to call us mayates. They used to call us mayates. Whenever you get an argument, they'll call you the N-word, and they'll call you a mayate. I had to ask my homie, I'm like, bro, what is a mayate? Why do they keep saying that every time? You feel me? I ain't even say nothing. People's like, oh yeah, bro, like, oh yeah. It's a bug, bro. That's what they used to call us. I heard this word from every point of my school life. I heard, bro, the Hispanics called us this. They called us mayate. Y'all a bunch of mayates. If they couldn't call us the N-word, they called us that. But we don't want to talk about that. I'm getting homies sending me text messages talking about, oh, this big protest that's happening on the 14th. And I'm like, I'm looking at black people on one side of the internet. Black people like, hey, stay y'all tails at home. And then I'm seeing people shame those black people for saying, let's stay our tails at home. But then these people on their platforms was just talking about how black people, we always messing up something. We always violent. We always this. So when it's a cause that works for us, y'all can come outside. But when it's a cause about what y'all talking about, stay up. Like maybe y'all should just stay indoors.
Even when half the people did come outside, going back to like the BLM stuff, I can only speak for Cali. When they were doing peaceful protesting in Cali, the majority of the people that came out to support were the ones provoking the non-peaceful protesting. They were starting all the looting. Even now, it's TikToks and stuff going on. It's not just Hispanics that's fighting. It's other races out there too, but they're also causing problems in the midst of it.
Exactly.
It's not just them. It's just not the Hispanics holding up the Mexican flag. It's other races too that are doing things that are making the peaceful protest not peaceful anymore. So you can't get in the mix of that. Because we seen it with BLM when they was doing the BLM thing and other races was coming in to come show support. Some people were doing it the right way. Some people were doing it the respectful way. But other people that felt like this was the opportunity to start some stuff and go ham and go crazy and do things that they had no business doing, to turn around and pin it on everybody else. And I'm gonna admit there were some black people that did wrong. They did bad. we did bad in that BLM movement. We did not move with the tenacity that we were supposed to in that aspect. But a lot of other races added on to that, but we got the overall fallback of it. So don't nobody want to come support no more. So we got the message.
My thing is this. Yup, you can see videos of it right now. I got so many videos on my feed of the situation. My thing is this. If people feel like they're being injustice, if they're facing injustice, people have a right to go complain about their injustice. I don't ever support if the Asian community came out and wanted to do a protest about the stuff that they facing, they should be allowed to do their protest. If the white people feel like they facing injustice, they should be allowed to do their protest. Everybody should be allowed to do their protest. Yeah. Asians, whites, blacks, it don't matter. Go ahead.
But they did. I was about to say that, but they did, because during that time of the era, we had the BLM, we had, Asians' rights, and then right after that, what happened to the Capitol? They look at each current event that happened, and look how each party conducted themselves during that situation. And then other people that were not like officially a part of that party, but integrated in the party to support, look what happened. People don't know how to unite properly.
I feel you. And the point I was getting to is, I'll never believe in telling people not to march or not to speak on what they feel like they need to speak on. But I will say this.
That's right.
You do not have the right to shame people. You do not have the right to guilt trip people. You do not have the right to force people into fights that they don't want to take. If 50% of black people say they stand their tails inside, every other race and culture should respect that. Because the same cries y'all giving to us now as black culture was the same cries we was giving to y'all. And only a certain percentage of y'all stood with us. But now y'all expect 100% of our participation. Y'all expect 100% of our participation. There's black people out there right now. And I saw one clip. One person said, all right, black people, we can support the movement without going outside. We can support the movement without going outside. Let's start voting. Let's start doing petitions. Let's start donating. Let's start doing this. And people shamed him because he said, let's do these things instead of us being on the front lines.
It was a guy offering, it was not to cut you off. It was a guy offering, for those that were scared to like go shopping and stuff like that. He was offering to buy groceries for the people in his neighborhood that had the issues with the legal status, and drop off the groceries for them so they don't have to go to the store. There's other ways of people helping without being in the front lines, is all I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. So why is it, if y'all want support and y'all want help from the black people and y'all want black culture to help y'all call us brothers and sisters now. But if y'all want us to do this, why can't we do it in a way that's not gonna get us killed? Right now it's lethal rounds for y'all. But y'all understand, do y'all understand every time black people get involved with a movement outside or get involved with a political movement, it turns lethal. And it doesn't turn lethal because we're so, let's get rid of this narrative. We are not as violent as the media portrays us to be. Bro, they didn't want to talk about this. During a large period of the BLM movements, I had a teacher, he was a Marine, and he would show us the news every day, but he would show us the news from multiple news sources. And there was a day we were watching, and it was an underground news source. And it was talking about how there was a random company before the riots even got to those areas, before the protests and riots got to those areas, it was a random company at 2 a.m. dropping off stacks of bricks in random locations. just dropping off full 1,000-pound pallets of bricks. Dropping off bricks, dropping off everything, right? Then it wasn't even a group of black people that started the riots. While the black people were protesting, doing their thing, it was dudes in masks, hoodies, sunglasses, running in, starting the looting. Now, shame on the black people for the fact that y'all watched these people in masks, hoodies, and everything start looting, and y'all was like, this is my opportunity to go do it too. Shame on you. But the point I'm trying to make is, a lot of the looting wasn't even started by us. I was just watching a clip about this current riot right now. It's dudes in hoodies and masks trying to break in doors, and it took a Hispanic dude to come out and be like, bro, this is not what we here for. This is not what we came here for.
Yep. That's what I was saying. The Hispanics are not the only ones holding up the flags. It's a lot of people that's being like, seeds are being planted in these riots, and they're taking a turn for the worst. And yeah, bro, they trying to pin everything on everybody at this point.
So right now, I'm gonna open up the floor. If y'all got something to say on this, how do y'all feel about the situation going down right now? How y'all feel about the situation? It's crazy, bro, because we live in such a duality right now that we can sit here and say, hey, as a black man, we're people of color. Y'all need to come out here and march with us, ride with us. But if I say, hey, how about you stop saying that one word that I take offense to?
But the rebuttal will always be, but you get to say it.
Y'all lose black people because black people want to be treated a certain way. Well, we one of the most loving groups of people. We'll slide and ride for anybody. But my thing is this, how long?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead. I'm gonna type the topic for you, L Dragon.
It's just a matter of y'all. It sucks because everybody wants to have black people involved with stuff when it's time to get boots to the ground, when it's time to get muddy, when it's time to get gritty, when it's time to get out there, when it's time to get active. Go with us, help us. But when it's time, when we in that peacetime and we open up businesses, we say support, y'all won't support us. When we trying to tell people about civil injustice, it's not a big issue. I don't want to speak on it. I'm gonna keep it a band. People don't want to hear this part. We got more support from the Karens than we do anybody else. People don't want to hear that part. We got more support from the Karens on social media than anybody else. Nobody want to hear that part though. I'm seeing more Becky's, Hillary's, Jennifer's, Megan's. I'm seeing more of them on social media arguing for our civil injustices than I'm seeing other cultures. But now it's time for black people to go be superhuman. I'm watching clips of, they talk about we will use lethal force if we need to, if these riots get out of hand. And not the first thing y'all saying is black people come get active. What you think we gonna do? We not bulletproof. It's the freaking Marines. And you telling a single mother or two to go out there and slide. You telling a father who just got a newborn baby and he working a 9 to 5 to go out there and slide for the politicals. It's like, bro, what are we talking about? But yeah, Chris, go ahead, man. How you feel about the topic?
Well, just like I said in the comment section, I'm actually coming out to California in August. I'm coming out to the downtown Los Angeles area. Yeah, I'm coming out there for an event, so I'll be out there. But I think from my perspective, from what I've been hearing, this is a battle of resources. Basically, from what I've been looking at on video, is a lot of black people are complaining about how come illegal immigrants get free healthcare and all this money handed to them, while they don't get any help at all. Really, to be honest with you. Because I know definitely in Chicago, those black folks are fed up with it. They're actually fed up with the situation. They're fed up with the fact that, okay, you're giving all these Mexican people free this and free that, and we're not getting any help at all. So that's been a big issue, really.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's been the main part, and that's why majority of all the black folks aren't really helping, because they're like, wait a minute, y'all are getting all this stuff, and we're not getting anything at all. So why should we step in y'all fight when you're not handing over all those resources for our community? That's all that it is.
My stance on that is we don't need to take resources away from one community to supply another community when we have situations where our government loses $80 billion to $100 billion overseas, and we got people that come out who are supposed to be handling that money saying, yeah, we don't know what happened, we just lost it. Look how much spending and look how much resources are suddenly going missing every year. Y'all want to hear the truth about it? Why we got so much, and why we got trillions of dollars built into some underground facility where you got trucks driving and delivering? They got a Starbucks underground and all that other stuff. That ain't for people like us. Our country makes so much money, we could have had healthcare for everybody. Universal healthcare could have been a thing.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with universal healthcare at all. I don't agree with it at all, because definitely after COVID and all that, I don't agree with that stuff at all. But for the most part, it's the black people in the basic hood areas, and I'm like, yo, like, y'all are taking our community centers and changing them into shelters and everything. So that's what the majority of what black people are actually talking about. That's what they're talking about. That's all.
All right. Shout out Chris. Smiley, go ahead, man. How you feel about the situation?
Chris ain't lying about Chicago, and they've been dumping the migrants on us for like down there 2 years, and they've been like vacating all the hoods and combining them with us for like for down there 2 years. So Chris is not lying about like Chicago. We really been going through that migrant situation for a long time. But also I post a link in the chat or whatever, and it's like a video, and it's this guy, he brought up a good point. I don't know if y'all could play it, just play the audio, because the dude was smoking, I was reacting to it, but he brought up a real good point about like how they waving they flags, right? Like, but they want to stay here. Wouldn't you be waving like the United States flag if you wanted to stay here? You get what I'm saying? Like, that don't really make sense in a way. Like, it just don't make sense to me. But like, I just don't agree. Like, that's they fight at the end of the day. Even though I had like a lot of friends deported, but like still, I remember them calling us like a KiteZz and we don't deserve reparations, and I'm not black, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm not black, I'm Dominican, but you darker than me. But it's cool though, but it's they fight, not ours.
All right. If I got the clip. Farad.
When people protesting in America, they always wave the flag like of another country instead of like the American flag. And hear me out, I'm not against like the protesting and shit like that. That's you feel me? But I be seeing people make this comment and they be real disingenuous with it, and I see a lot of people that say stupid shit around it, but I'm being like honest. Or am I tripping? You feel me? But yeah, like, what y'all think about that? I always wondered that when I be seeing people protesting shit, like from other countries, or seeing people of other cultures and shit who are Americans or want to be Americans or live in America protest in America, but then like wave a opposite flag or like burn an opposite flag. I'd be like, I see what.
Okay, I'm not gonna stop.
Yeah, I know he was like, he was cussing a lot, but
it's to the point. That's why I be getting on. I be getting on black people about this. That's why I don't like cussing, is because we overdo it. We don't know how to, like. I understand there's situations where you be so hard and you gotta just like. But we're getting to a point where people use curse words as filler words.
Yeah, it irritated me too, and even dudes smoking like right there. But like that's the thing, like people, and that's why they don't take us serious when we talk about subjects like that, because we do stuff like that. But
we don't articulate ourselves well.
Yeah, we just cussing every word. So it's like, yeah, I get what Buddy's saying, but look how you presenting it. You get what I'm saying? It's the right message, wrong messenger. You feel me? So that's just my thing, though. It just don't really take him as serious, what he's saying.
So my thing is,
but he ain't lying.
So my thing is, when it comes down to flag burning, right? And like when people are protesting,
that's mad illegal.
Yeah, one, it's illegal. You're not supposed to burn flags, and I don't believe in flag burning anyway. But one thing is, I feel like the flag issues of people wearing like the Mexican flag, people rocking the Dominican flag, people rocking all these flags, I feel like it's a micro issue compared to the fact that what are people arguing about. Now, my thing is this, right? Even when it comes down to it doesn't matter. A flag is just a symbol to represent something, right? But my thing is, just because a person is waving a Mexican flag, they're raising the flag of Mexico, doesn't mean that they're sitting there saying like, my country's better than your country. This is the descent that I'm from. This is where I'm from. The same way we had the Haitians. The Haitians are one of the people that they rock their flag everywhere. The Haitian flag is one of the most seen flags I've ever seen. And it's like, so when I see the Dominicans, when I see the Haitians, when I see all them rocking their flag, it don't make me feel some type of way. Just like the Japanese flag, out here in Cali, there's people that they put the Japanese flag on their cars, they tattoo it on their body, they wear it on their merch, all that. Like, so it's like, I feel like even though I get it's unpatriotic, I agree. My mind doesn't think about it because it's just a matter of I don't give a crap about the flag. I care about who's carrying the flag or what is being done underneath the flag. You feel what I'm saying? If you need a symbol of people to understand, if you hold up the American flag and say that we're being treated injustice, what do you think the opposite side's gonna do? They're gonna say you disrespecting the flag by doing whatever you're doing underneath the flag. And then they're gonna start making hit pieces of why do people have to disrespect the country while they're carrying our flag? But then when
people idolize the flag, that's why.
But then when that same individual pulls up their own flag of their own origin descent, it's like, look at y'all are disrespecting us and y'all don't even have enough respect to use our flag. It's like, if we use the American flag, we're disrespecting the flag by having it there. If we don't use the American flag, we're disrespecting the American flag by not having it there. It's one of those things. It's like getting mad at people over the crosses at this point. I know we do it in our videos. We make the joke about it. But if you wearing a cross chain and you an atheist, I can say the joke of like, well, dang, you don't even know what that's for. Like, why you wearing that? I can make the joke of that, but I really don't give a crap. You know what I'm saying? Because it really don't affect nothing. It's an accessory. You're wearing an accessory. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a matter of what I don't jack when they start burning the flags though. Because when you're doing that, when you're burning the flags and you're doing all that, you gotta remember that what you're burning is not just the image. You're burning the sacrifices, you're burning the memories, you're burning what that flag stands for. Yeah. You're burning the causes that went into that flag. And I know that people
died over that flag.
Yep, you're burning a symbol that people are sitting here, you know, there's people that march for these flags. There's people that died under these flags. We not gonna act like D-Day and the World Wars wasn't just not even a couple hundred, like less than 100 years ago. Y'all forget, it's crazy how people don't understand. People don't understand. World War II just happened in 1939. We're not even 100 years past World War II. We're not even 100 years. Let's go even deeper. World War I, we barely hit the 100-year mark for World War I. When did Jim Crow get abolished? Jim Crow got abolished by the Civil Rights Act in 1965. We haven't even gotten rid of Jim Crow that long. I think the problem with humans is we're acting like everything that's happening now, we're so far apart from it. And the thing that people don't realize is this stuff just happened only like 1 or 2 generations ago. My mom was born in the 70s. My mom only avoided the Jim Crow thing by a couple years, about 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. That's one group of high schoolers, one group of middle schoolers. And my mom is in her prime right now. You feel what I'm saying? There's people right now that have parents right now that have went through the Jim Crow era. Burning a flag ain't the solution. Now, I understand the symbology of it though. I understand this
message, but that message could be deemed as a terrorist threat.
Right. What I used to do, I respected it, is when a soldier does it. When soldiers would do protests and they would go against it and they would burn the flag, it's different because this is somebody who was blood, sweat, and tearing for that flag. And if a soldier is burning a flag, it's because they feel like their country has betrayed them as a soldier.
Yes.
Me as a person, I have not been in no wars. I haven't had to fight for my country. I haven't had to do nothing like that. If I feel some type of way about my country, I can go and have my platform and say what I need to say without having to go die about it. Now, these soldiers, these people that are fighting underneath this flag, if they burn that flag, it means something. If I burn a flag right now, I'm just a dude burning a flag. Stop burning the flags because you're not disrespecting the government. The government don't give a crap about the flag. Mm-mm. You think when you burn a flag, a politician's in there shaking like, oh my God, America, oh, I can't believe this. They're doing it to us. No, bruh. Y'all are disrespecting these veterans, bro. Y'all are disrespecting these people that are actively fighting for that flag. Stop burning flag. Don't burn no Mexican flag. Don't burn no Jamaican flag. Don't burn no Puerto Rican flag. Don't burn no Chinese flag. Don't burn nobody's nation's flag. Don't burn no flag. Stop touching people's flags. Especially if you ain't even a part of that group. Don't burn nobody's flags because you're burning symbology, bro. If at the end of the day, I don't even touch Confederate flags. I don't even touch those. When I'm at a point, I'm so mature and I understand the history of everything. When I see these Confederate flags, it don't bother me none. It don't make me think no way. It don't make me feel no type of way. Because they're still impacted by they were still raised by the people that stood by that. Mm-hmm. We only not even 100 years away from this, from segregation and all that. When did MLK die? Martin Luther King died in 1968. That man ain't even been dead 100 years. We're not that far from anything. Let's be real though, a lot of people are in the military for the benefits. It don't matter if you in there for the benefits. It don't matter if you in there passionately. At the end of the day, if you get shot and killed,
sacrifice most people aren't willing to take.
Your intentions may be less, but at the end of the day, you still did something I didn't do.
Exactly.
You still did something I didn't do. I ain't did it. There's a soldier right now that's talking about I only joined the military because I want to blow something up. Hey, bruh.
Hey, man.
At least you doing it for a cause. Get the freak away from me.
Yeah.
I'd rather you be blowing up against some ops than over here blowing up on my area. Go do your thing then. Because at the end of the day, that's up to God to judge you on that one. Just get from around me.
Get from around here.
Yeah, go ahead. You know, you feel that you like lighting stuff on fire. You excited? Hey man, we got a war out there. We got a war out there. Go ahead, bro. Go do that. You like seeing explosions? Go judo flip on top of a mine or something, bro. Do your thing, bro. That's none of my business in GTA. That's none of my business. Just don't do it around here. But my fault. Steppa, go ahead, man.
Honestly, it's just so messed up what's going on in Cali and everything. Like, you got ICE taking away hardworking immigrants that been in America for like 25 plus years. Especially the born kids who are not even from America. It's still taking them away. No matter what you tell them that my kids are not from my parents' country, they will still take them away. He got them taken away from their jobs, schools, or whatnot. They're not doing it to Hispanics. They also doing it to our people too. It's not even. It's not just Cali. It's happening in my state right now. In New York, and it's happening in Michigan, barely, like literally every state. You know what I mean? So it's like just pretty much messed up of what's going on, or what ICE is doing, and for the people to say that it's not our fight, it's kind of messed up too, because like the Hispanics are minorities just like us. They literally wouldn't say go to the same struggles, but like you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah. What's up,
Like,
Rollo?
Shout out to you, Rollo.
Like Hispanics literally, like at the end of the day, Hispanic people are literally are minorities just like us. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't say it's not your fight too. So it's like kind of is our fight, because like, you know what I mean? Because they already doing it to us too. You know what I mean? So it's just messed up what they doing. You know?
Do you because at the end of the day, you're entitled to feel how you feel. I would ask, do you understand why people are saying that it's not black people's fight though?
Yeah, I definitely understand. That, but like still though, like you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, those people, the Hispanic people, are still are minorities just like us. At the end of the day, they can't just say it's not our fight. I mean, I definitely understand that. Like, I definitely get like where you're coming from. Like, it's not our fight. I'm not trying to like get involved in the riots stuff. I had the police or the armies trying to hit us, blah blah blah. That's not what we're trying to say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's other ways where like us black people, not just black people, but like anyone of like race or ethnicity can join like the movement too in a different way though.
So you're saying, I get what you're saying. You're saying it's not even about the race of it. You're seeing it from the standpoint of like it's a little people versus the big machine type energy. Like, you're not looking at it as a
minority doesn't always equal race.
Yeah, you're looking at it as these are people in the same they at the bottom just like we at the bottom type energy.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right, that's all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, we are all minorities
at the end of the day, just like Hispanics, you know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't really make it right of what they're doing anyway, or what ICE is doing. So it doesn't make no sense, you know? Just doesn't.
Okay.
Right. I understand. Like, we're all minorities, but we all get treated differently per minority group. Because
no, definitely.
Even if you're thinking about minorities is not just a race thing. It can be a gender thing. It can be a sexual orientation thing. So if you look at the Black community as a minority and the Mexican community, the Hispanic community as a minority, and then you throw something else in there that's not race, like the LGBTQ, they're technically a minority also. So we haven't seen a lot of them in the fight.
No, they out there. They out there, but they out there fight. They out there fighting. They out there. We gonna get to that.
Their own protest?
Nah, we gonna get to that because that's another thing I don't jack with. My thing is this. I get. So one thing is this. This is why I say I'm neutral to it, right? Because I 100% can understand what Steppa is saying, and that's why I said. That's why I said in my rant. If you feel like you need to be supporting what's going on and stand up for the cause, go do it. If you feel like you need to sit your tail inside and stay your black tail inside, go do it. If you feel like supporting the cause online is what you need to do, go do it. At the end of the day, here's what I don't support. If black people feel a certain type of way because they feel like they've been getting disrespected by the Hispanic community and they feel like, all right, the way y'all treated us, this is why we don't need to do it. I understand it. And I'm not going to sit there and say you're wrong for how you feel. Just like I'm not going to sit there and say me as a person that lived out here, I have had horrible experience with the Hispanic culture, but I've also had some really great experiences with the Hispanic culture. And so my stance is I look at it from the perspective of as a Christian, as a believer in Christ. That's how I'm going to look at this perspective. Because at the end of the day, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. And you're supposed to love
that goes both ways.
It does go both ways, but Jesus never said that you were supposed to get that treatment back.
No, I'm saying how black people and Hispanic people interact with each other. Do you feel like, because like Chris is saying, I strongly disagree. Hispanics are letting people have no respect for black people at all. Do you feel like as black people, do you feel like we have respect for other people?
Yes. I feel like we have.
Yeah, we do.
I feel like here's you know what's crazy? Here's why I can't, even though I can see what y'all saying, I'll never be able to say I truly don't feel that way, because look at our situation as content creators. Bro, I got people from every walks of life showing love to the content I create. I got a dude out there in Saudi Arabia showing love. I got people from in my city showing love. I got people from the coast showing love. I got people from across the ice wall showing love. And my thing is this, my experience growing up as a person that's in California, I grew up around Mexicans. I grew up around Hispanic people. And so at the end of the day, it wasn't like, let's keep it stacked. It depends on where your area was. I'm from the IE. You feel me? The IE is a lot. People don't understand. And this is why I think it's important for people to understand how diverse and how big California is. Because every California from a different section, they can say a different perspective, right? Looking at the map, right? How California is for me over here in this section is gonna be a different version of California over here in this section. And it's gonna be different from this section. And this section is gonna be different. So when I hear about people's experiences that's happening in California, I'm never gonna be like, yeah, that's not true, because there are sides of California where racial divide between the Black and Hispanic community is super bad. And then there are parts of California where the Hispanic community and Black community are super cool. Now, Alex, I know you from Paramount, and that racial tension over there is different.
It was bad.
It's different over there. It's way bad over there. Where I'm from, go ahead.
No, I was about to say, like, the best way to describe like Paramount, because it's a predominantly Hispanic like area. It's like it's weird because we rock with each other until we don't rock with each other. Like, it's kind of like having the cousin that you love, but you low-key got animosity towards them because they did you wrong in some type of way, shape, or form, and they said something about you, or they sneak dissed you, or whatever the case may be. So when y'all get around each other, it's like we cool in the moment, but if you say something slick, I'm gonna say something back, and it's gonna be an issue. I've been in almost every school in LA County, like around LA County and stuff like that, and it never ended well when it came to the racial divide and stuff like that. I remember being in the 7th grade and experiencing my first race riot. Middle school, 7th grade. You got the black people wearing black, all black everything, and you got the Hispanics literally wearing all white everything, just going at it. It's some racial tension in a lot of those areas, but I'm not gonna say like it was all bad, because I've met a lot of good people that were Mexican and all that kind of stuff. So
plus it is a
different experience depending where you're coming from.
But here's why I can't rock with the sentiment about Hispanics and Latinos having no respect for black people at all. My fan base got
right. I can't
rock with that sentiment. My fan base is full of I got fan base in every culture.
Yeah.
No matter how I feel about it, I can't agree with that sentiment. I got Hispanic people that watch my content right now that have never even met me, but they support what I do. They support my message. They talk about the gospel. Yeah. They here chilling with me. Yeah. So it's like, for me to say that, that's wrong, because then it's me saying that against the people that are actively supporting me, that they don't love me. Mm-hmm. I got opposition. I got people that hate my content as black. Let's keep it a band. If we really want to talk about this race thing, and this is why I say you got to stay neutral in your perspective of this. You can't have a perspective that one side is all bad, one side is all good, because let's keep it a stack. When we did the Aaron and the plumber situation, let's go, if we really want to talk about it, because this is why it's like, I'm not going to sit there and dog one group of people and my people do me a certain way too. When we did the plumber situation, most popular content on our channel, the biggest people who was telling us we don't know what we doing, we need to shut up, we fat, we ugly, we stupid, we this, black people. It was black people doing that to us.
Yeah.
It was black people doing that to us.
Rollo, no, he saw it.
Rollo as a witness. Rollo was there. It was black people that was doing that to us. When me and Alex, that's why we stopped doing the interviews. That was other black people doing that to us, creating hit pieces on us, talking about, oh, we support this, we're this. It wasn't no Hispanic channels doing that to us. It wasn't no white channels doing that to us. It wasn't no Asian channels doing that to us. So I can't sit there and be like, oh, I can't rock with them because they do something to us. Bro, we got so much love and diversity, and the thing that brings people to the channel is bigger than just race. At the end of the day, my mindset is this. If I die right now, is God gonna approve of me hating a group of people just because they skin not like mine? Is he gonna approve of me doing that? Is he gonna approve of me celebrating the downfall of people? God created us in his own image, meaning that every single race of people fit God's image.
Talk about it.
But we don't want to talk about that. We all fit God's image. I don't give a crap if you white, Asian, black, Samoan, Tongan, Chinese, Filipino. You feel me? Whether you West India, I don't give a crap, Pakistani, whatever. When we all die, that skin don't matter. It's how you treated people while you was in that skin.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you treated people in that skin. So it's like, I understand, I get it. I feel like as black people, I will say this. we're not wrong for how we feel about how other cultures treat us, but we're no better than them if we start doing the same thing that they do to us.
Right.
We're no better than them. We can't sit there and say, oh, you know, every culture is just treating us bad, and act like there's not part of those cultures that treat us good too.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably people of Hispanic descent watching my stream right now, and they catching strays crazy. You feel what I'm saying? And we're not even gonna acknowledge that. Catching crazy strays right now. And it's like, they like, wait a minute, I watch y'all content. I love y'all content. What you mean y'all don't like me? So that's why I'm like, nah, I don't jack with that. I don't feel that. I don't feel that at all. That's why I said I can understand what Step is saying. I can completely understand it, but I also have to be realistic. I can understand why black people feel the way they feel, though. I can't. Two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, that is true.
But all my best friends up until I got to adulthood were Hispanic. I had a black Asian best friend and a white Hispanic best friend, and I grew up with them dudes all the way up until I graduated.
Yep.
I didn't have I had some all black acquaintances, all black homies, like they was cool, but those are the ones I grew up with, and those are the ones I graduated with, and I still talk to outside of college. So what I look like saying, bro, my homie's mama, full Hispanic. And she let me in her house. I was eating at her house. I was sleeping at her house. I was doing all that. So what I look like saying they don't love us? She was showing love the whole time.
My nephews are Mexican. My nieces and nephews are Mexican. So it's just like,
don't let it be that.
That's where it's most.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's not get into the mindset that just because a group does us wrong, that whole group is evil. Because that's the same way that people feel about us. That's the same. We're doing the same thing, that we're doing the same stereotyping that they're doing about us with these riots and these looting. We're doing the exact same thing. They see two black people loot with a group of white people, and all black people are looters and thieves. And then we sitting there like, dang, just because two people, we all that? Just because you have one bad experience with a Hispanic dude, all Hispanic dudes do you like that? Come on now. We got to stop acting like everything is AB, AC, AD. No, bro, there's lines in there. Not everybody does that. Don't do that.
Is D-Man still here? D-Man's still here.
Yeah, D-Man's still here. We gonna let you talk. Thank you, Stephen.
I'm still here, yeah.
Go ahead, D-Man.
The one thing that irks me about this whole thing, and I feel very similar to how you feel, Kites. I don't want to say I'm over it, but I'm numb to it. Because it just be pissing me off every time it happens. It feels like the black community is an Ouroboros. Like, we just do stuff, we get mad, and then we try to fix it, but we don't really fix it, and go back to the cycle. And like, it only makes it worse when we deal with other races who may be calling us out for something we could have done wrong, or something that we definitely didn't do wrong, because we can't even get our own shit proper. So now we yelling and screaming at each other about bare BS, and they yelling at us about something that could potentially be valid, because there's times that the arguments are valid, and other times it just be straight nonsense too. So now all we hearing is nonsense in the community. We hearing nonsense out the community, and we drowning out all the people who making sense. Like, it be having me bent, because it don't make any sense at all. Like, we mad at Asian people one day, we mad at Hispanic or Spanish people the next day, then we back to being mad at the white man. It's like, yo, when you gonna get it through your head that it's like,
we gotta be mad all the time.
When you gonna get it through your head?
Right.
Like, come on, bro. Like, oh, I'm mad at this specific. Yo, shut up. Like, it's really not about them. The fact that you've been mad at white people for 20 years of your 40 years living on this earth, but you never had a bad experience with a white person is crazy work.
That part.
Like, when you go and it's what what Steppa was saying, yo, it's a little people versus the big people issue. No, that's my biggest issue whenever stuff like this happen. And I hate it both in the community and outside the community that we do all of this. Oh, we want to protest, we want to make a movement, we want to do this and that, but no one talks about effective methods. We always just doing shit. Let's go in the streets and yell. Let's go in the streets and riot. Let's do all types of goofy shit. The one time I heard somebody make any sense was during the BLM movement when they were like, yo, let's go talk to these officers. Let's go talk to government officials and find out if we can make reform happen. What happened to that? When we gonna start doing that? Because like, I'm trying to figure out. We've been yelling about this. And the only one time I heard somebody talk about this nonsense was, oh yeah, let's actually go talk to these people and get some reform done. And that died right after that. And we went right back to the foolishness. Oh, now we back in the streets turning up. Oh, we twerking on officers to get them upset. How that make sense? Like, that's why it be pissing me off. Like, yeah, I could feel bad. Yeah, we got people dying in the streets. Yeah, they pitting us against each other. It's obvious. It's obvious now. Before it was like, they trying to manipulate. They ain't trying to do that anymore. They just going, hey, you mad at this group? Go ahead, go fight them. That's all it is now. But it's straight foolishness. Like, why we keep doing this?
Because we're not taught any better. We're not reflecting on what methods are working. We're only paying attention to the outlandish methods that were being demonstrated online, being demonstrated through the books.
But that's my thing, right? And it even goes back to God's word, right? All scripture is God breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness. You can't say I want to go join a movement and then do no research. What? It's a trend on social media and now you want to go out in the streets and do all type of nonsense. Like, come on, dog. Read up on what you about to go and join in on. Now you about to just regurgitate whatever you saw on the internet and pretend like you doing a good job. You making black people look dumber. Because now we jumping in on movements we don't have any business being in. And the worst part is some of the black people in the movement don't know what they talking about.
I get it. I agree with him. I get it because it's like, I think the reason why a lot of the times, this is why I say like, the racial issues and stuff that we're having, that black people have, it's so systematically like built up. It's bigger than surface level stuff, because there are a spectrum of people that did try to do it the ways that we're saying we should do it, and they got met with violence. Then there's people that tried to do it the violent way and they got met with violence. And I feel like it's one of those situations where like there's a lot of black people now when they look at moments like this where they're saying like, we know we got to stand up, we got to go fight, we got to go do this, we got to go be in that. A lot of people have just accepted the fact that if I go out, no matter what, I'm going to have to expect to get violent backlash, no matter what I do. If I want to go out and I want to go march, I'm going to be expected to be pepper sprayed, beat down. And if I want to go sit inside, I'm expecting to be met with the same, just like you not facing violence in the safety of your house, there's still going to be a destructive backlash from even you trying to stand up for a movement. Even right now, if this Flock Talk went viral, it's going to be 50% of the internet saying, hey, good job for y'all speaking out. And there's going to be another 55% of the internet saying, this is why this channel needs to get deleted. They don't deserve to have a platform.
Like they did with the ginger conversation.
Yeah, the same thing with the ginger conversation. It was a joke. The little all gingers are black people. We did that video as a joke. We were just having fun watching TikToks in the movement. You know how many people called us sellouts, cussed us out, said we not really black? How dare y'all try to let gingers become black people? I'm like, brother, it's a joke. They know they not black. We know they not black. This is why y'all don't deserve this platform. Y'all just using it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, at the end of the day, it's no matter what, we live in a world, the devil has done so much damage and brought so much negativity and hate that to the point where we all forget the fact that we are supposed to be God's people. We are supposed to be people created in God's image, and we hate each other. Y'all, if you hate another race right now, that means you hate something created and crafted in God's image.
Yeah. I literally had a conversation with Kite about that.
If you hate, can we keep it 1,000? If you as a black person, if you hate white people, you hate something that is made in God's image. If you as a white person, you hate Asian people, you hate something created in God's image. If you as an Asian person hate Indian people, you hate somebody created in God's image. If you as an Indian person hate a Hispanic person, you hate somebody created in God's image. If you as a Hispanic hate a black person, you hate something created in God's image. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Oh, to add on to that, something just like, people forget, because I forget this too. It's said that God accepts us for who we are because he understands what we go through.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as long as we're choosing him actively and trying to live by his word, we're good. But he knows we're going to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. He doesn't hate us. He hates sin. Why do we keep hating each other instead of hating the one thing we should be hating?
Because people don't want to let go of that sin. That the flesh is latching on to it.
And one thing I want to point out before I let and shout out to D-Matt, man. I appreciate you. And if you got more to talk about, we'll let you back up. So I want to point out something in here too. And this is why I'm saying this is a prime example of why we have to be careful for how we say things. And this is why I can't ever rock with that. I can't rock with the culture hate thing. I can't rock with the racial hate thing. Right here in our own YouTube chat while we're having this discussion. We got Greta Frankenstein. I'm Hispanic and I support you guys. I always look forward to your content all the time. You see that? I don't know if y'all even paid attention. We have Mariana. She in this chat right now. She's in the Flock Talk right now. She ain't said nothing. She ain't posted nothing. But she been in here too. There's some of y'all, there's people right now in this Discord that are other cultures. And that's why I'm saying we can't have this mindset that we hate other cultures. We can't have this mindset that other cultures be doing us. It is okay to call out when other cultures do us filthy, but call out the specific people in that situation that are doing you filthy. Don't put the whole culture in there, because if that's how we start doing it, then I'm sorry, we're doing the same thing that the people that hate us are doing. If you want to hate the Klan, show your dislike towards the Klan, but don't put all white people in the Klan.
Yeah.
If you got a problem with the cartels, throw your shade at the cartels. Don't throw your shade at everybody in Hispanic in GTA. I don't want no smoke. But my thing is, I'm a civilian for sure. I'm just a dude with a microphone. You feel what I'm saying? But if you got smoke with you feel me? You got smoke with all these other people. Have the smoke with the people that are doing it. Don't have smoke with people who are just civilians. Don't do that. I guarantee you ain't no cartel member watching Flock Talk right now. We safe.
Amen. Listen.
I love Goku. Sure, okay? They chilling. They love Goku. All right, man. I love Goku, man. They like Goku. I like Goku, man. I'm just saying, bro. It's just like, race is such a heavy topic, and it shouldn't be, but it's hard because I understand why people want to get to points where they feel like they need to. It does feel like there's a time where it's like being a black person, it is everybody against us. You get what I'm saying?
Miles said he don't understand the GTA reference.
It's all good, Miles. That you pure soul, you.
It means it's not real. It's not real. When we say in GTA, it's not real.
He said there's
it's a simulation.
He said there's a pipe bomb in your mailbox. I'm not checking my mail. Chris, go ahead.
It must have been the wind.
Chris, what did you? It must have been the wind. It's crazy. Chris, go ahead, man.
No, what I wanted to say is the guy was talking about talking up, speaking up. But the problem is we don't have any resources. And that's why nothing's changing. Great example of that. I was down in Atlanta and I went to see like Spelman and all the historically Black colleges. I'm telling you, it looked like they put the college in Compton, California. That's what it looked like.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. Why my city catch us straight? That's crazy work. We got resources in Compton. Wait a minute. I get what you're saying, Chris. But dang. We got resources.
But that's why I look. Seriously. Straight up facts. I've seen this for myself.
Like, what side of Compton you been on?
Huh?
I'm like, what side of Compton you been on? Wait a minute.
I watch Boys in the Hood, growing up and everything, so I kind of know what Compton looks like,
Oh,
I know
Boys in the Hood Compton look way better than what it look like now. You good. Oh! You good, Chris.
But go ahead, Chris. Finish your point.
They're in really bad shape. It looked like an F5 tornado just came through it. It's like the buildings are.
Oh, you caught yourself. Yeah, got yourself. Y'all heard some curse words. Also, y'all all just cursing now, huh? We need some Bible study in here so y'all can watch your mouths. Huh?
I think his mic cut out.
His mic cut out right when that F-bomb was coming out, huh? That's crazy. Y'all got comfortable, huh? Y'all forgot where y'all was at.
We outside.
Black colleges. Nothing. Zero.
Right.
So if we as Black folks want to talk about things are that's the first thing we got to change right down there.
That's true.
It's very true.
So yeah, if we're not changing that, like, people won't take us seriously. Why should they? Go down there and look for yourself. I've seen that personally.
Yeah, that's true. We don't have resources at a grand scale, like the way that we should, to be able to combat certain things like this. So I agree. Because it can only be so many people that have nonprofits and stuff like that that's really trying to build up the resources for the community, and no one's showing out for them or showing up for them to even make it so that it's more than just a nonprofit. It's a global thing for us. So it is hard.
Dang. Israel just attacked Iran? Lord fix it. You see what I'm saying? We got bigger stuff to worry about, man. Hey, everybody read y'all Bibles, man. Don't get so caught up in this race war politic that y'all forget that Jesus Christ coming back soon. Dang, it's trending right now. Israel attacks Iran. You feel me? It's crazy out here, man. It's crazy out here. I don't even understand it, man. Hey. But Smiley, go ahead and say what you gotta say.
Nah, man, I got 2 points. Like, first off, like, y'all got D-Mac cussing and everything, like, D-Mac, and then the video was cussing, then you see, like, and then the dude was smoking in it. This is the most ghettoest Flock talk, but it's a good ghetto. It's nothing as bad ghetto and good ghetto. Like, this is, like, man, y'all been overwhooping on this episode, man. It's inspired. It's making me cry right now. But then you did say something that was real deep. You said, like, people that hate other races, like they hate God creation, right? So when you said that, guess what I thought of?
What you think?
I thought of this, right? So if they hate God creation, like, if a person hate, like, different races of people, and they hate that race of people. In a way, do that mean they hate God too?
Yes.
Like that's deep. That's deep, ain't it? But they say they religion. They religious, but you hate God. That's crazy. If you hate other races of people, so you're not really a religious person. But yeah, this was a good ghetto episode. I love it though.
And Smiley, to your point, let's break it down. If you hate other people, let's get to some Bible study there. Y'all be asking for some Bible study. I got y'all, bro. I got y'all right here. Let's talk about it. All right, this is Genesis right here, right? It says, and God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing. So God created man in his own image, and the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Let us make man in our image. So that means everybody that's in this call right now, whether you black, white, whether you tall, small, whether you male, female. She said, okay, Bible scholar, reading in the King James Version with no issue. Shut up. But you're made in God's image.
That's the best version.
You're made in God's image. So if you can't claim Christ and then hate you can't claim Christ. You can't claim to want to be Christ-like. You can't claim that and then you hate people. Now, there are points where God said he despises people and he can't stand them, but it wasn't because they were human. It was because their actions. He hated them for their wicked hearts.
Yeah, the sins they were committing.
That's why I always say we can hate the sin, but we are not allowed to hate the sinner.
Oh.
We can hate the sin. We can hate the things that you do, but I'm not allowed to hate you as a person. God loves the sinner. He hates the sin.
Yeah.
And we all sin daily. So to the people that don't understand that, we all sin daily. Every day you wake up, you sin daily. The Bible said
it wouldn't make sense for him to hate the sinner.
Jesus called out. Remember when they were about to stone the woman. And Jesus came out and said, he who is without sin cast the first stone. And nobody can do it because everybody sins. Jesus was the only person in that situation that could have casted the stone. We all sin daily. So you can't hate people. No matter how harshly they treat you. No matter how bad they treat you. You can't hate people. Because at the end of the day, you're hating something that God created. She didn't put that abomination of that mockery. Actually, my Jesus ain't white though. So, hey man, Jesus was in the Middle East, man. That is a Caucasian man in a wig. Actually, my Jesus ain't got no race, man. After he descended to heaven, that race stuff was gone. But you feel what I'm saying? But my thing is this. It's a matter of we can't sit here and in this situation. I was looking at a streamer talk about the situation that's happening in Cali. And it was a lady on the video and she said the problem with this situation is for the people that are saying this towards the immigrants and the people that are saying this towards the people that are getting deported, to the people that are saying this, and you're saying that you're happy for this. She said the biggest problem is there is no empathy in the situation. You guys don't have any type of sympathy or empathy towards anybody. You guys have been so detached and so fortified in your internet personas and the fact that y'all can say what y'all want to say, do what y'all want to do, act how y'all want to act because nobody can check y'all. Y'all have got so comfortable that you guys have literally thrown away the concept of understanding and feeling and being able to relate to people in their situation. We've gotten so comfortable with this it's us versus them mentality that we forgot that we're human beings. I'll tell you right now, throw 100 humans of all different races, nationalities, throw them all into one spot and put them in a little cage or a little something and tell them y'all have to work together to survive or y'all can't get no food, no water or nothing else. See how fast everybody drop that mentality then? Everybody racist until it's time to start struggling. Then all of a sudden we stop seeing color. Hunger is the greatest way to make you stop seeing color. So it's like we gotta start realizing that, bro. When we do this thing where we hating on each other, where we're happy, we're celebrating the downfall of each other, y'all gotta realize that's not God, that's the devil. That's the devil, bro. Y'all got pastors in churches giving whole sermons in church, celebrating deportation, celebrating people being left out, celebrating people being thrown out, separated from their children. The same children that God said is one of the most purest creations. He said we have to be like babes. We have to be like babes, and y'all celebrating babes getting snatched from parents. Why are we talking about politics in the church? Give to Caesar what is Caesar and give to God what is God's. Politics is the world. Give God what's God's. But we can't separate it. And this is how y'all know it's time to start getting y'all hearts right, getting y'all minds right, man. Getting y'all spirits right. Start reading y'all word, bro. Because we're getting so caught up and trying to be a part of what's going on in the world. We're forgetting the objective. We are not of this world. We are not meant to be here. When that sky crack, you think how you feel about other races is gonna matter when that sky crack? Come on, when you hear them trumpets, you think race matter? What? I'm still confused. What are y'all planning to tell God when he asked you, when this group of people was doing this to this group of people, you know those are your brothers and sisters in Christ, right? Why did you celebrate? Why did you celebrate the torture and the killing of my people, the people I created? Why did you celebrate that? What are you gonna say? Well, Lord, they called me the N-word. Depart from me. I never knew you. My wife woke up crying about the situation that's happened in LA. Crying. And this is somebody that is a victim of the racial tension in Cali. Me and Alex went to work with racial tension. People don't understand. Me and Alex clocked in, and dudes was coming up to her. Is that your real hair? How do you black girls make y'all hair do that? Yo, so when you black girls get mad, why do y'all do this? Bro, we was there. But my thing is this, it don't matter how bad of a situation that I had in the workforce, my wife had in the workforce, it doesn't matter. And you said who say stuff like that? Welcome to Cali. That's what I'm saying. I can't be mad about how black people feel, but I'm not about to be mad at the Hispanic community either. Cause that's humans. That's human beings in general, bro. Because I heard the same thing. We've heard the same contents from every other race. It don't matter about the skin tone. That's what I'm trying to say. I've heard it from black people, let's keep it a band. What is the one thing that black people were saying to black women all the time? Y'all call them chicken heads. Y'all bald head, chicken headed. Yeah.
They had a whole song. Bald head, skittle diddle, ain't got no hair in the middle. Ooh, where your weave at? You know you need that. Like it was bad. Y'all had a whole song over it. I'm like, dang.
So it's like, to me, it's like this situation that's happening in there. Right, main thing people need to be doing, bruh. One, don't be trying to be on your high horse, trying to shame people. Don't be on that type of energy. That's just not where it's not where it's at. That's not where it's gonna be. That's not where it's gonna get fixed at. But I advise every people, black people, just how quickly it happens to other races. Remember, that's how quickly it can happen to us. Right now it's happening to the Hispanic community, but it was just happening to us. It was just happening to the Asian community. It was just happening. And y'all gotta pay attention to the fact that at the end of the day, hate don't got no specific race it's focused on. The devil don't give a crap. He hates you to hate you. And if you start hating people like that, guess what? You hating just like the devil hates you. Empathy. Everybody should know what empathy means. That means being able to put yourself in the place of someone else and understand why they feel the way they feel. Empathy is what we need. You need people to understand. My white cutting out?
Yeah, you keep cutting out.
Shoot, I must be getting cooked. No, I must be getting cooked. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Need left.
There we go. Am I better now? Am I still getting cooked?
Yeah, he's a little bit better. Cause I thought I was tripping because even in some parts when you was talking, it sounded like the mic was trying to censor you, so it sounded like you was cussing for a second. I'm like, what the heck?
Y'all just out here let me say it. I'm saying all this deep stuff. Y'all can't even hear me. But nah.
No, they can hear you.
It's a fact of, bro, empathy, being able to put yourself in the place of someone else. That whole expression, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. That's empathy. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's empathy. That's empathy, bro. Start having that. Start having that. So right now, I'm gonna tell y'all now, hey, if y'all are those people online and y'all are sitting there supporting these content creators that are saying like it's us versus them mentality, y'all gotta stop, bro. Stop. It's not us versus them mentality. It's a human issue. Stop, bro. You falling for it. You're falling for it. Stop. That's not, God ain't in that. Stop. Do what Jesus would do. You feel what I'm saying? Before we end off, anybody got a topic they want to talk about so we can end off on a lighter note? Who got a good topic that y'all want to talk about? Because I know that topic took over the whole Flock Talk. But it's just like sometimes you got to talk about what's real quick, man. All right, Chris.
Yes, yes, the colorism argument, because I was watching the Pop the Balloon show and the last lady said, if you're light, you are not right. So how do you guys feel about that situation?
Colorism. All right, y'all. How y'all feel about colorism? You talking about the episode? He's talking about the latest Pop the Balloon with Arlette Amuli, where there was a female contestant on there, and she started rejecting some of the light skinned brothers on there, and she started saying the expression, if it's light, it ain't right. I only date darks. How I feel about it? That lady's an idiot. and I mean that with most respect. I mean that respect in the aspect of her logic towards it is idiotic. Because everybody wants to say this, but there are soldiers that are light skinned right now fighting for you right now, and you saying if it's light it ain't right, bro. There's light skinned people in the marches for civil rights, but you saying if it's light it ain't right. They were slaves too. What are you talking about? Y'all talk, and the sad part is this is what I'm going back to. That's a black person saying that to other black people just because your shade of black is not as dark as my shade of black. Come on, dog. Are y'all good? But y'all, if y'all got something to say on it, go ahead. Go ahead, Smiley.
Hello?
Yo.
Okay, I'm just making sure you can hear me. My headphones been acting up. But like I got a scenario, right? If you driving, right, and the cop pull you over and like he see like you a black person, he ain't gonna be like, oh, that's a biracial black person, or that's a, Dominican, or that's a such and such black person. All he gonna write down is black. So as I say, the reason why I use that as an example is because we basically all on the same boat. So all this Akata, all this colorism stuff, and they ass and the white people ass in the, in mainstream society, they just look at us as one group. So while we separating each other like, oh, we don't mess with them other black people, we don't mess with them we don't mess with whatever type of black, Jamaican, whatever, we all in the same boat. So we need to cut that crap out right now, because that's divide and conquering, and y'all falling for that trap. And y'all need to be called out for that crap. That's crazy. I'm sorry, but I just don't like that, bro. That's all.
Yep, and you're perfectly right in your mind to not like that. I don't get, my thing is black. Why we hating on black?
Right, and black is beautiful. Exactly. No matter what shade, it's beautiful. So forget all that crap.
Y'all know that albinos is a shade of black? The albino people are black? Y'all have you ever looked into albino?
Yeah, I got four albino cousins. 4.
Yeah.
They like
go ahead.
Yeah, 4. And then it's not only that, it's vitiligo.
Yep,
too,
vitiligo.
With different it's like people with spots, and they got like, what about them? People ain't gonna talk about them. Oh, cause you can't say, oh, I'm too light skinned, I'm too dark skinned. They both. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's like, bro, what are we talking about, bro? If it's light, it ain't right, bro. What? So albino people just hoeing them? That's an African girl right there. That girl was with her siblings. You feel what I'm saying? So why she gotta be wrong? Both her parents black. Why she gotta be wrong? That's crazy work. But go ahead, Universal, go ahead, man.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, no, I must say first of all that I have not seen that episode, so I'm speaking partly in ignorance, right? So I'm just going on face value from what I've heard from you all, right? So in my mind, I want to know whether she's saying this in an individual capacity or if she is recommending this as something for the entire black community, right? If I'd seen it, then I'd be able to make that determination. But from what you all saw, was she speaking in an individual capacity?
So in the video, I can pull it up. I just can't show the clip. Like I can show you what the scenario looked like though. Hold on. It was basically there was a what lady was it? It was this lady.
Her at the end.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So basically as she was going through, she was basically just saying like when they got to like, oh, is this your type? And she was like, nope, I don't date light skins. I don't date the light skins. If it and she was basically saying like, if it ain't light, it ain't right. I mean, if it's light, it's not right. So I think she was speaking in terms of like maybe for relations. It could have been bigger than that and we not know, but her segment was so short. It's not like they got a chance to deep dive into her reasons why she doesn't like light skinned men, but she just kept saying it over and over. If it's light, it ain't right. If it's light, it ain't right. That's just her whole segment was just her saying that. So it was just like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get you. All right. But what I'm saying is, if she's speaking in an individual capacity, remember that's the same as if she's just stating what her preference is.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So in that case, she wouldn't be wrong. All right. Probably the mode of expression she using, the words she using could be more clear to demonstrate that she's speaking individually, which she would be entitled to. Right. But if the words or if the intent is to influence other persons to think like her, then that is where I would draw the line. All right. So so that is my stance on it. Personally, is not. I mean, she is an individual, so she is entitled to her individuality, right? But from the time she is promoting colorism beyond herself, that's where it becomes dangerous, right? So I don't have enough evidence to make that determination. So I think that someone is innocent until proven guilty. Right, but I'm not saying that she is innocent and making a statement, right? Because we could interview her and realize that, hey, this is really a racist statement that coming from her, right? But what I'm saying is, I think she must be given her individuality until we have definite proof that, hey, this is something that she's recommending beyond the boundaries of her own individuality. Right. Yeah, so that's what I'll about say on that.
Okay, that's valid. Shout out to Universal. Stepper, how do you feel about this segment?
Honestly, I feel like it's just rude. Very much rude, giving rude. I mean, sometimes I guess some people just can't really keep their comments or their preference to themselves, or I guess they just can't really say it the way they want to say it, just to get a person of color who's light skinned upset. Because at the end of the day, there's actually light skinned people who are black. You know that? Pretty much. So colorism is so played out. I like colors and preference is so 2016, 2018. Like, okay, we get that you like your, you know what I'm saying, preference, but who actually cares? Come on now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
just rude and pretty much arrogant. Just rude and disrespectful. I'm not gonna say the word arrogant, but it's just rude and disrespectful. Okay. Pretty much.
I got you. Sir, new king of the flock. We ain't heard from you today. Miles.
Man, you make it seem like you make it seem like you miss me or something.
Hey man, it's always a pleasure to have you here, man.
Absolutely. I've been listening. I actually been a little busy this whole time, so I've been trying to be involved as much as possible. But I've been here though. I've been here the whole time. But I wanted to give my fellow colleagues the floor. You know, I talk a lot, so but I like to keep it in the right time frame. But yeah, the king is here though. Let's get it real quick. The paper bag thing, light skin, dark skin. I mean, we've beaten that over the head over many decades already. I'm gonna just acknowledge the girl right quick though. She was rejected. So for people who didn't see, it's a lot of times when the girls get rejected, they tend to not be able to handle it well. Some guys too, but the girls, when they get rejected, they just start going off, and that's one of the things that she did. As far as the light skin, I mean, just her whole segment, I didn't take it seriously because she was cursing. and she was talking all that God-fearing stuff, and then she was also cursing too. So I didn't really take her too seriously about anything that she said at all. She was just as goofy as that model that came before her, so I didn't really put no stock into it. I was really surprised that Chris even had that as a topic, because I'm like, I thought he was going to acknowledge that the goofiness that she was. I think if a light-skinned person that she found attractive, she would have easily left with a Chris Brown or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just that she got rejected and then lashed out. But I did want to touch on something real quick if we have time, though, because the paper bag test, we could do that all day long. I've been keeping up with all of these catch-ups that Arlette has, and some of the catch-ups that we have been discussing that we all wanted to see. You know, with the one guy from Cali that and the girl just wanted him so badly. You know that one, and I guess they met and it didn't last like 2 days. The last recent catch-ups, and I noticed something about these catch-ups. Is it me or is it outside of Mike and Key? I think every catch-up that has a secondary catch-up, it all goes bad. Have you noticed that?
I mean, we've only
we
watched,
haven't seen
like,
the most recent ones. We are out of the loop.
Yeah, we have completely. Yeah, I'd say.
I'll tell you that they have, like, you know, they do like the catch-ups, and then a lot of them either go good or go bad. But then they do like a secondary catch-up where it just goes left. It's
BM
with BM
after the catch-up type energy.
Yeah.
These relationships aren't lasting as much as we think. I think a lot of them pump fake for the show, for the first catch up with Arlette, and then in real life it's really bad because they go straight left. And from what my sources have told me, shout out to Risa, the "You're Not My Person," yeah, she's my main source. She told me about the global chat, and what goes on behind the scenes and why they always, not really matching on the show because they're trying to match with people previously on the show and use the global chat to sleep with each other. And it's chaotic though. But one thing I noticed though is that these catch-ups just ain't working. I mean, Mishna Chandler, great catch-up. Then they go to BM, Wildin, JoJo and Julius, right? Great catch-up. Will you be my girlfriend? Blah, blah, blah. Then they argue and the BM talks to him. It's constant. I don't think these relationships is really panning out like they're supposed to, except for Mike and Key, who's about to get married in a couple weeks. So they're the only ones. And I just thought, what do you think the reason is? Do y'all have a reason for it? Do you think people just not picking right? Or from what I'm seeing, I mean, what do y'all see?
That's a good question.
I don't think they're picking right. I just think they're not picking right. I think they're going in with from what I've seen, I think, Alex, you touched on it. You said 80-20 earlier today. I'll go on record, probably go 90-10. I mean, I think the problem is guys will pop on a girl for at least 5 or 6 reasons. Girls will pop on a guy for like 100,000 reasons.
So Miles, I got a question for you though. So do you think do you think they just be going on the show just to like hook up, cause like get a sneaky link or something, or cause at the end of the day, it kind of put a bad name on the whole brand. Like, it's like the success rate ain't really as popping as they claim it to be. So like, do you think that's partially on like BM and like, cause I think they really don't respect BM, cause like how you said, when the catch up be fine, and then when they go to BM, it's like, okay, cause Bert, like that whole Bert, he did that girl bogus. He manipulated that girl, act like he was a good dude, and then when he went to BM talk to him, it's like you got caught from your on Instagram from a close friends, like them, they be wilding on them close friends. But if like he did her bogus, man. But
I think it's just from what we've seen, I think it's just the interview process. I think they got to maybe change the questions up, maybe really vet these people out that you're bringing on to the show. I think people should not come on the show if you look like you can get a match in real life. I think that was the biggest problem that I noticed on the show. Like, you bringing people who really don't have problems finding a match, but bringing them on the show to basically be controversial in a sense. You know, I've always been on the record. I've said, and you know, shout out to the security specialist. I'm like, homie, why he from the same streets as me and Mike? I'm like, why did you go on the show? You are 6'5", no body fat. You live right where we live at. You mean tell me you passed through all of New York City, the streets of Manhattan and Times Square and all this, the biggest city in the country. You passed through all of that to go all the way to Arizona to find a match, and then after that, he set the standard for a lot of the girls. That's because girls looking for that when they come on the show. You know what I'm saying? And they're not really finding. They're not looking for the real. They're not looking for a match. They're looking for the match. When I say the match, I'm talking about the match that everybody wants, not the match for them. They're looking for the match that everybody wants, in a sense. Does that make sense?
Right. Cause you brought up a good another point. Like, if you in Florida, if you in California, if you in Atlanta, if you in Chicago, it's a lot of bad females, bad men where you at. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, why would you go all the way to Arizona because let's be honest, Arizona is not one of the main, states, or like Phoenix is not one of the main cities where everything is popping at. So like, it's not a lot of popping females or a man in that area, or it's not as like diverse as like Florida. So that is kind of suspicious, Miles, that you put in. That's a good point.
Chris, you might as well unmute if you disagree.
First of all, I want you guys to give me my flowers for that last catch up.
I ain't giving you nothing. I don't know who you talking to.
Well, all right, Miles. Okay. Give me my flowers anyways. Well, excuse me. Give me my cigars on that actual last catch up episode. Because I already knew that chick did not like that dude. Anytime you ask a goofy questions about, what are you gonna teach our future kids? I already knew that chick did not like that kid, did not like that man. I knew that. Because first she said, I didn't like the way that this man hugged me. Strike one right there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was weird.
I'm gonna give you them flowers. I'm gonna give you flowers instead, and I'm gonna give you the flowers. You want flowers? You got flowers.
Yeah, that was weird, Chris. That was weird. Cause I'm like, okay, but that's your date though. Like, that's your date. Like, you can't be picky. Like, you cannot be picky. Like, you just got to get what you could get. And then she just kept on moving the goalposts. Like, and he was 20 minutes late instead of 10 minutes late. And it was like, come on, like, you're not trying to work with this dude. And it's so bad when the other girl was texting the other girl like, hey, you need to come back. When another girl telling you, hey, you need to come back, this dude is sad. You know it's a problem. She was literally like, it was crazy.
I want to chime in real quick, Alex. It's you laughing at, folks. I'm not. I ain't saying.
I'm so sick of Miles. He's so stupid, bro.
Oh, I am. Yes. I'm giving him all the flowers he wants. You want flowers, Chris? You got flowers.
Cigars.
No, you said flowers. You want flowers? You got flowers.
Oh my gosh. All right. Anyways.
The main reason, I'm glad y'all are like having this deep conversation. I think I'm just listening to y'all because I ain't watched it, so I'm just kind of like, oh dang, they did that.
We
they
ain't got
did
no
that.
opinions.
Yeah.
We get spoilers anyway.
Yeah,
we don't have no opinions on it.
But
it was bogus.
Yeah, I feel like
guys, these catch-ups been pretty bad. These catch-ups been pretty bad.
They've been horrible since y'all ain't been. That's why we stopped watching them when y'all like wasn't reacting to them, because like we want to hear y'all opinions, and I'll be thinking to myself like, dang, KiteZz, Alex, and Tippendale would have went in on them. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of delete the suspense of it, because it's like, dang, I don't even want to watch it, because the only reason why I watch it is because I get to see other people commentary on it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and KiteZz and Alex, to be honest, none of the catch-ups is like surprising. when you guys watched them live, when they said we got a match, you already knew it was gonna be bad. You were just waiting.
Yeah.
You were just waiting patiently and just waiting to find out how bad
Yeah.
it was gonna be. Because when you guys watched it live, you knew that this ain't going. You could tell when they say, is this gonna be a match? You could just look in their eyes and they tone. You're like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
Yeah. But Stepper, what you think about the catch-ups though?
I don't know, man. Because honestly, these catch-ups nowadays, I mean, I honestly just don't be watching the catch-ups. I literally just be looking in the comments, honestly, because the comments is mad funny for no reason.
Catch-ups are old.
Yeah.
When y'all see these catch-ups,
Most of these catch-ups are mostly
they've already
just
been
setups
filmed.
nowadays.
Like the Big Bird and Yanaya, I can't remember her name.
Ayana.
But that catch-up was that catch-up was old. When you add up the timeline, they talking about Valentine's Day.
Hey,
I'm like, dang.
I'm sorry,
Right.
Alex. You can't call him Big Bert no more after what he did on being. You can't. He bogus. He was basically he put no. I'm a spoiler.
We reacted to it on the Twitch yesterday.
Okay. I ain't know if y'all watched that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we
y'all
saw what he
watched
did. That was
okay.
a mess.
Yeah. You can't call him Big Bird after that. He lost that name.
Not Lil Bert. No,
Lil Bert. Lil Bert.
Can I say something?
Kite went in on that. Go ahead.
Nah, Big Bird really let us big men down. He let the whole heavyweight division down.
I'm gonna land real quick. I'm gonna land this real quick.
Yep.
Also, what I noticed on the show, excessive questioning. When a actual female questions you a lot, she's not really into you. She's not, because a female knows straight up when she's actually into you.
No,
she won't be doing all this questioning.
Nope. Gotta call you on that one. Nope, can't do that.
I know this from personal experience. I know this from personal experience.
Oh yeah, with the 5 girls from Ohio. Yeah, we know your personal experience. Yeah, okay, we know. We know. Yeah, we know.
Miles.
Can I finish, please? Thank you. Can I finish?
Yo, Miles, chill.
The reason why I say that, because a lot of girls ask you qualifying questions because they're trying to find something to actually like about you. So the questions aren't really related towards you. It's related towards like goofy stuff. You know, it's related towards about kids and all that stuff. Listen, I'm actually focused on the right here and right now. That's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on what's going to happen 5 years from now and all that stuff. I'm focusing on you and me right now. That's what I'm focused on.
May I say something to rebuttal to that?
I don't know. I don't know if that's the best thing. I don't know.
Jesse and Monet. Do y'all remember them? You remember them? Jesse and Monet. You remember them?
Yeah.
Jesse was the one that was like, I guess, the agent or some musical agent, and the girl was really pretty. And he said, well, I like this one right here. And he was like, well, what are you doing tonight? And she just popped everybody's balloon and said, I want that. I want to go home with that one. She ain't asked no questions. She was like, I know what I want. 2 days went by, watched the catch up. And I ain't got nothing to say. It was terrible. It was terrible. She said, I made a big mistake. I shouldn't have went off looks. And I made a big mistake. I should have asked questions and got to know the real person.
Yeah.
But Miles, that's because they going off of lust instead of actually finding a real partner.
Yeah.
So
I disagree with Miles on that.
Wait. I gotta ask. So, okay. So you got Chris's perspective is if she asks too many questions, she's not interested. But then if she doesn't ask enough questions, she's going off of lust. So then where is the middle ground here? Is it like how many questions is the balance? Is it like
there's no balance?
I'm just asking. Let me talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. I'm just asking. Is it like and Key and Alex, y'all can both chime in on it after I finish my statement. I want to hear the ladies first because there's a lot of testosterone going back and forth. And like I said, one thing I never liked is when it's a space of all men talking about women and ain't no women there to vouch for what the men is saying. Because it's the same way that these females be doing us on these platforms where it be an all-female podcast talking about what men do and how men think, but there ain't no man to defend it. So you feel what I'm saying? But
that part.
So it's like if she asks too many questions, she not interested. She not being genuine. she's trying to find a way to be interested in you. But then if she don't ask enough questions, it's she's just operating off of lust. So then my question to the ladies first, then y'all can do what y'all do. What is it? Is it 3 questions? Is it 2 questions? Is it does she got to do the child, like the ancient voodoo technique of eye stare and gravitate to his spiritual soul connection? Like, what? Make it make sense to me. That's all I'm asking.
I used to watch Sinners.
Alex, do you want to go first or?
No, you can go first.
Okay. I'm not coming from a place of what men are doing wrong or what women are doing wrong. I think that we're both doing ourselves an injustice when we don't realistically approach relationships from the standpoint of we're all getting to learn one another. And in learning one another, we are 2 individuals who have to try to figure out how to coexist together. And if we are trying to figure out how to coexist together, then we have to be realistic that there's going to be a learning curve, and that I need to learn you, you need to learn me, and learning each other. Those questions are important. So there shouldn't be a limit on how many questions you ask.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are not having the difficult conversations early on for fear of rejection, for fear of scaring the person off, for fear of coming on too strong. And then they find out later on that, you know, this person isn't in alignment with the love that they need. Why would you wait to find that out later? Why not find out sooner so that you could spare yourself the heartache and the grief? What I noticed with the Big Bert and Ayana catch-up was when they got to the point of they asked them, Arlette and BM asked them, well, did y'all talk about, are y'all exclusive? That should have been a yes or no answer.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them could answer that directly. So there was some ambiguity there. So he went to Colombia or wherever the heck he went.
Can you say that word again? I'm sorry. What was that word?
Ambiguity. Yeah. There
okay. Yeah. I went to public school. I needed this. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to NYU. We went there. But yeah, there was some ambiguity there, and so, you know, so when he went to Colombia, and that's in part why he got defensive, was he went to Colombia or wherever the heck he went. You don't need to go to another country to learn another language, but whatever. He went there with the idea that I'm a single man. I'm not beholden to no one. I can do what I want. And she assumed that, well, I'm not talking to anyone, so we must be exclusive. But they didn't have that conversation.
Nope.
Right.
And they brushed over the X conversation. They had a small little debrief about it, but they didn't go into detail. And I feel like she probably should have pressed it a little bit more. But to answer the question, is there a balance between how many questions you're supposed to ask? No. Like, at the end of the day, what's the purpose of dating? It's data collecting. You collect data on the person that you have the intentions of possibly being with long term, of marriage, and so on and so forth. So if you can't ask the questions, then there's no point in dating, because the whole purpose of dating is to get to know you. I have to collect all this data to understand your likes, dislikes, flaws, and imperfections, and perfections, skills, whatever the case may be. That's a part of dating. And I feel like when it comes to the pop the balloon, the contestants, you're deliberately signing up for a show, but you're not coming ready and prepared to ask the questions that are going to be the hit or miss questions that you need to either want to court somebody or try to date somebody to get to know them. You're asking the same. Do you like to travel? What's your favorite food? What would your ex say about you? What's your love language? Get deeper.
Hold
it's
up.
more than that.
Right.
All that stuff.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna put the fraud alert on Alex and KiteZz though, because y'all know why I have my Cali band, and y'all told me I asked that man too many questions.
Okay, now I can. Okay, you did. You did.
No.
And I'ma
Hold
be
on.
honest
Hold
with you.
on.
I'm gonna be real
Hold on. Because
Reverse fraud.
no.
I'm
Hold on.
sorry.
Before I let my wife do her thing. I'm not even on the court. Okay, I haven't said nothing in the last like 15 minutes. I'm not even in the game. All right.
All right.
You're not finna put a
I
foul
didn't
on me.
reverse fraud you.
You're not finna put a foul on me, and I'm not even on. I don't even got the jersey on. I'm in the back eating some nachos. All right, I didn't deserve that straight. And another thing,
I learned don't ask Cali man too many questions.
No. Here's why you can't ask Cali people no questions, because you're banned. You're still banned from Cali. You still have to check in. You're not safe here. So. It's because
I was just at the border.
Let me finish. Wow. Yeah, you see how you said you was at the border? We ain't letting you over. Okay, I already sent them. I sent a mass fax out. They said, hey, if they see this black woman, she's done. And Kite said so. Then they had to in the background. They knew my body. But
if I snatch off this Vivica A. Fox wigs, they won't know the difference. I'm a whole different person.
All right, I got some bad news for you, twin. Got bad news for you. You ain't the only one that's that can snatch a wig off out here. They very comfortable with that. So it's like at the end of the day, focus on the ops that's on the court. Okay, because if I come off the bench, it's a different conversation. So I'm letting y'all have y'all moment to shine. Now leave Cali out your mouth, because we not finna go at your state, because I can do that for a couple days, and you are a different thing, because you were asking a lot of questions, but you was also asking questions that had no substance or it didn't matter. So you feel what I'm saying? So let me eat my nachos in the back. You feel what I'm saying? Focus on the dude that's on the court. You feel what I'm saying? I'm out. I'm back in the stands.
I need to interject real second, because in Key's defense, she was asking questions that matter.
I ain't
she
gonna
was
lie.
asking those questions. She was asking them to the wrong type of man. And it's not because he's a Cali man. It's because men like that, you can't ask them no questions because they don't care about what you're talking about. And that's what I was going to say. Even with the question thing, there are some men that don't want you to ask them crap. Don't ask me nothing about this, that, and the third as a man. You either going to get with it or you not. You asking too many questions. You want to know too much. I'm supposed to be seeking after you. Shut your mouth. It depends on the person. But I honestly feel like if you're a person that's intentionally dating, you shouldn't get tired of somebody asking you questions to get to know you. If you don't want nobody to get to know you, stay in the house.
Yeah. Don't date.
Right.
Wasting people's time.
Okay.
Ain't nobody about to sit here and have a full Excel sheet worth of data just to go back and shred it because you don't want them asking questions, because you don't want to have people get to know you. Then you sit here and wonder why you still single. You don't want to get to know people. You're tired of questions.
Yeah, that'd be irking me.
Universal, how you feel?
I'm off the bench.
I think that Alex came the closest on the Chris and Miles debate on whether it's one question or too many questions. But I think that we need to superimpose something over the entire, over everything. And the fact is that people don't fall in love the same way. Some people fall in love because of, well, for example, like me, it's more because of who the person is. But the thing is, everybody like to say that, that they're giving the person a chance to see who the person is. And this time they're really lying, because they really just fall in love based on sight, but they just don't want to come out and say that. So I feel that, now coming back to the bigger question, why is the show failing? I feel that the show is failing because people, for example, look at the last show, the last episode. The girl comes out, she says that she's a Christian, God, etc. And then she pops the three men who are dressing the most modestly. And she leaves all the other, and she leaves up for grabs now all the other fellas who have tattoos, who looking, you may understand, dapper. So they're not. First of all, they're lying to themselves. If I come on the show, I know how I fall in love. So I looking for somebody who I believe falls in love, something like me. So so you have a certain amount of modesty about yourself and the expectations. But people come on the show, and you know that you're trying to get somebody who will not stay with you in the long run, and you're still pressing that, and you are leaving behind persons who are ready to match with you. And that's why I believe personally, but that the show is failing because people not trying to match realistically. Right? And one last question that I want to entertain is the show is also failing, but it's not because of, well, only I would only blame BM and Aled for the first round, where it says that people aren't allowed to say anything, and you have to pop like 2 or 3 balloons immediately. To me, I think that aspect of the show needs to change, because that is nonsense. And for example, look at the last episode. The girl comes and she pops 3 men who were the 3 men who were most likely to match with her, and she immediately eliminates those 3. And I know that there's no man on the rest of this damn lineup who is going to match with this girl, right? And she literally kills herself from the first 3 eliminations that she makes. But if the format wasn't like that, because as soon as she popped those 3, the rest of fellas realize, hey, we don't really like this, and they start to pop one time because they realize, hey, now everybody going to look at me as if I gonna match with this, and I don't really want this. But they kind of blocking other people's blessings as well. So the show needs to get around that, where men are blocking other people's blessings as well, because that is also contributing to the failure of the show, right? So
can I ask Universal a question? Can I ask him a question?
Yeah, sure.
Do you think they should change the rules of the game? You think the rules of the game is being too stagnant? You think they should start changing it up a little bit?
Yes. Correct. Because look at the last episode. The 3 men who were most likely to match with the first contestant, she popped them immediately. And then all the rest of fellas, they know that just how she dresses and how she speaks, they know that this is not the type of woman they want. They want a more high-profile woman. I can see that they want a more high-profile woman, so they're not going to settle for that. But she doesn't. She is not modest in her own mind to realize what she could get, right? So the show needs, and there are a lot of, and she's not the only contestant like that. There are many other contestants. For example, if I go and pop the balloon, I will immediately be modest and know, hey, the kind of woman who would be attracted to my personality, right? So I'm not just going based on looks, and everybody says that, but not everybody practices that. But that's what I'm saying, right? So the show needs to cater to that dimension of human engagement while trying to find someone, and that people are not being realistic. So the show needs to put back a level of reality into the contestant themselves, because they eliminating the best possible candidates, and then the other candidates popping because they really don't want this person, right? And they realize, hey, I gonna be stuck with this person, and the show needs to find a way to get around that. So you're right. So the rules of engagement does need to change. Yeah. So I agree with you. Yeah.
So I do got a question. So my question for you is, okay, we know what the problem is. Now, what's the solution? How they could fix it?
Easy. It's easy. The men's got to step up and be masculine. Period.
Oh,
and the reason why that hold on, Miles. Hold on. Like,
let him cook. Let him cook.
This is the fact. The reason why it didn't work out, like the situation that Miles mentioned, because the man didn't lead anything. That's all.
Okay, in that Big Bert situation, but what about in that other situation where he was touching her butt too low or something? Because we witnessed in those 2 catch-ups wherever, like, what a man did bad and what a female did bad. So you get what I'm saying, Chris?
No, I get what you're saying. Like, for that situation, the guy should have been honest and actually upfront from the beginning. That was his mistake.
Okay,
and
but what about
Go ahead.
What about the other situation where the female was kind of moving the goalposts on him?
Once again, she did not like this dude. Excessive questioning. I know this for a fact. When a woman gives out all these excessive questions, she does not like you, and that moves into her behavior. Because you notice when she said, "Oh, oh, I don't drink. I don't go out to clubs. I don't do
Right.
this. I don't do that." That is the behavior of a woman that does not like a dude. Period.
But shouldn't you think that she should have been said that before they got on the date? Like, hey, I don't think this is, that's when communication come in. So they both was wrong on their communication. They both could have did better on that.
You know what's funny? Even Monet even said, "I made the mistake of just going off of nothing. I should have asked more questions. I should have did more." Even she admitted that she was wrong on even choosing him to begin with. She even said in the catch up, "I was really embarrassed. I didn't know who he was, and everybody was telling me, why you match with him?" She even said that she made a huge mistake. It ain't got nothing to do with the dude all the time. It's a two-way streak in this situation.
Yeah,
It does. It
This.
always goes back to us. It's the behavior he should have noticed. Because if I notice if a woman is giving me all these questions, I'm actually popping on her. I'm like, yo, I already know that you're not feeling me.
So basically, Chris, you saying the man leads the tone. He set the tone, basically. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. We get it somewhere. I get it now.
Yes.
I just have to understand.
Trust me.
Okay.
I experienced this over the phone with a woman, and that woman told me, I said, "Hey, I want to meet up for drinks," and she was like, "Oh, I don't drink, I don't do this." I already know this woman did not like me because when I actually set the date, she actually flaked on me. So I already knew that already. Already knew. Just from that, from that simple behavior.
Hey, all right. See,
Six
all right,
bro.
bro. You really
I promise you, like he do it every time.
You jumped out your body for that one, man. It's crazy, bro. Like,
Miles,
it's like
get down.
I did. I apologize for that one. I did. I might have did that one. I'm sorry.
Like, hold on, man. We gotta start giving out these red cards, man. Because you know what, bro? Because Chris just talking his talk and he catches strays, and we gotta start calling the fouls, man. We gotta start calling it.
Yeah.
Why is it always the guy's fault though? Why is it always got to be the dude's fault? It's like every week it's the same thing. It's the guy's fault.
But then y'all the same type of people that call Chris a red pill, but he trying to be neutral. He's saying that guys got to take the responsibility. That don't really sound like red pilling to me. That's being more neutral than anything.
I promise you, you listen to Chris if you want to. You're going to be single too, just like him. All right, you go and listen to him if you want to.
Miles!
Single just like him.
Miles!
I'm single by choice. I'm single by choice.
That's what they always say. Yeah, that's what they always say when they ain't got nobody. It's by choice.
For real, though. Seriously. I'm single by choice. I made that choice for myself. That's all.
All right, I'm gonna let you have that. If that's your choice, that's your choice. See, I'm being mutual.
See.
All right, go ahead.
Y'all are funny, bro. Y'all are funny, dog. Cause like,
Miles,
realistically, it's it takes two to tango. I understand the sentiment of like it's the guy has to set the tone. I understand that if it don't go right, I get all that. But realistically, let's talk about human beings in general. It takes two to tango. It takes two to have a conversation. It takes two to have the disconnect. So I get why the frustration when the guys hear this. I can understand the frustration of hearing like, oh, it's the guy's fault all the time, because at the end of the day, it does sound like there's no point of accountability that needs to be held on the female end towards what's happening. And I can understand why that is, because it's like if the girl doesn't show up to the date, it's the guy's fault. Like, no, the guy showed up on time. Yes. He had it. How? But like how? Because here's how. Like, but this is what I'm saying. How I can see why people disagree so easily, because it's to a point that it's almost like we're forgetting that women are human beings and women have their own thought process and their own thing. And there's times where a guy can do everything right and a girl could like everything that the guy's doing, but situations happen and things lead to that. Like if, for instance, if the girl doesn't show up on the date, it could not, like, it's a very one-track mind to assume she didn't show up to the date because she don't like him. But in reality, anything could have happened to that girl on why she didn't go to that date. And it's also to the aspect of, we have to be careful when how we speak of women and how we speak about women, because it gets to a point where we start categorizing women not as human beings, but we're now speaking about women how dudes in the 50s used to speak about women. We're speaking about them like they're cattle, and it's dangerous to do that. And not saying that Chris is doing that, but I'm saying it's dangerous to do that because at the end of the day, they have the same free will that we have the same free will of. And so I can understand why Miles and them get upset hearing if a girl do this, it's because the guy wasn't paying attention. No, that's not true. Human beings are fickle. Human beings switch up. Prime example, in the Big Bert situation that just happened. Well, not Big Bert. We call him Ert now because he lost the B. It's Ert now. That is a prime example of, okay, this is a prime example of that girl was 100% in it, right? And Ert messed it up. You feel what I'm saying? But then we have plenty of catch-ups where the guy was doing everything. He was 100% in it and the shorty messed it up. So it keeps happening on both ends. And I feel like when you start saying language like, oh, it's only the guy's fault because the guy should have knew better. The guy should have did better. The guy should have blah, blah, blah. It's at the end of the day, we're forgetting the fact that a lot of these dates are happening in short instances. You can't learn everything you need to know about a person in one conversation. And that's what the whole point of the dating process is. Dating is to information gather. That way you can see if you align. But if you're already in the mindset of like, oh, she asked me 4 questions, she doesn't align with me. Or she asked me 2 questions, she's just here for lust. Or she asked me 1 question, you know, she's not interested, but she asked me 3 questions, she's perfectly interested. When you start getting it down to that, it's like we're starting to treat it like animal categories, because that's the same way farmers and stuff do towards their animals. If my cow eats the grass on this side of the thing, its stomach hurt. But if my cow eats the grass on this section where the grass is more dead, they're a healthy cow. Like we're dehumanizing. We're dehumanizing a species, and dehumanizing people can go both ways. You can dehumanize somebody by putting too many stigmas and restrictions on somebody, but you can also dehumanize somebody when you start saying, yeah, women cheat, but you know, they're just women, so we don't get mad at cheating. Oh, women do this, but they're just women, so you know, they're just this. Like, we should expect that. You're dehumanizing them in that. And that's why I feel like we have to be careful doing that. You get what I'm saying? Am I making any sense?
Yeah. People, you right. Yeah. People be overthinking it, and it ain't that hard.
I'm not saying Chris. I'm not, and I don't want people to say I'm putting that on Chris, because I'm not putting that on him. I'm just speaking in general. I don't want to label that on people that's not doing it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. Chris is. He has a tonight. He has a very neutral. That's the most neutralist thing that like I've heard him say. So like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I commend him for that, because a lot of people ain't gonna say, okay, the man messed up. They usually gonna blame the other side instead of their side. You know? So I commend you for that, brother, for real. And I commend you too, King of Flock.
Thank you.
No, time out, bro. That was the most dignified response he done said this whole time. He said it. You see how he said it all suave, like, thank you. Like he was proper, like he was in a throne or something. Forget that. He said, thank you. Like, forget Miles, dog.
People just acknowledge me. I don't know what to say.
Bro, get off that pedestal right now. Come down to earth. You get down from there.
Can I say something, Kites, real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, it's open discussion.
No, I'm not saying that the woman cannot ask questions at all. I'm saying unnecessary questions. For example, if I'm setting up a date with a actual woman and she's rattling off all these questions like, oh, like, what do you do for a living? That's blase, blase, blase. That's not related to what I'm actually trying to do. See what I'm saying? All the questions must be related to what I'm actually trying to do with her. So if it's going out for drinks and she's asking me random questions that actually don't matter in that moment, that's what I'm saying.
But what about banter?
So if he's not asking,
I feel like
what do you mean?
What about general banter? Like just conversation.
It is general banter.
Yeah, like
okay, all right.
Key, if you disagree, explain it because because like if this is the thing that about this Flock Talk space. Women, if y'all don't agree with the dudes that's saying up here, y'all have the right to say y'all don't agree. But this is also part of the dehumanization thing I'm talking about. It's to the point where like we're getting to a point where we're making it to this point where the females don't even want to speak on the space, but they disagree and they rather just disagree and leave. But it's like we're never gonna be able to have the conversation if people don't have the conversation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I'll be wanting to hear a female perspective on this, because these are the locker room, barbershop type of discussions. I need to hear what the ladies got to say.
So you want a hair salon conversation? I'm with it too. I want that.
Yeah. Chris, you are so unserious.
Hey, it ain't no shade. Miles
I went to hair school.
Salon
I know he went to hair school. You're so unserious because you
conversation.
Because I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna be as a person that grew up in both the barbershop and the hair salon conversations. I don't feel like a lot of men are ready for the hair salon conversations. Because I didn't heard some stuff that in the hair salon conversations that would have all the dudes in the barbershop start. Yeah, the hair salon conversations. I'll say that. What you telling me to shut up? This is my truth. What?
No, he's not.
He's spitting some facts. Let him spit.
This is my truth.
Hey, can I say something right quick?
I'm the son of a hairstylist. This is my truth.
She said timeout. She said timeout. She was saying timeout.
Oh, good.
I wasn't trying to tell you to shut up. I'm sorry, bro. I'm just saying. To your question, Chris should know. A person should know your character and personality through your actions and behavior. Well, how can I know your personality through actions and behavior if I don't ask questions? Your personality and behavior and character is gonna come out as I ask you questions. Whether I ask you 3 questions or whether I ask you 13.
That's easy.
So how does that work? And how does the correlation of a woman not being interested, how does that correlate to asking multiple questions?
Oh, that's easy. Like I said, if I'm trying to set up a date online, right? Because I've been to this 1,000 times. I've been to this 10,000 times. And I say, hey, I want to meet up for drinks.
All right. You know what? Hold on, Chris. That's your second flag. That's your second flag right there. Now we're putting you on server mute. You see, Miles, you're getting out of line, all right? You're not gonna keep doing that.
I ain't trying to laugh.
Now the ref had to get in. The ref had to time you out, brother.
Cause he think he getting these off for free. He think he getting them off for free, and I'm not standing for that. Go ahead, Chris.
No, what I was saying is, okay, if I meet a woman online and I say, hey, I want to meet up for drinks. I know a spot where you and I can meet. What evening are you free? And she gets back at me at, what do you do for a living? And all this stuff. I'm deleting that because that's not what I asked you. I asked you when were you free? Right? You're not going to give me a date. So why should I keep on talking to you? Now, if a woman comes up to me and says, okay, I'm free Tuesday. All right, the process will begin. All right, here's my number. I'm actually going to send this woman a map of the actual place so she can actually Google it and see it for herself. Then we basically go from there. So all the actual questions that she actually wants to ask me, she can ask me on the date because I'm not wasting time online because guess what? This is how guys get robbed. This is how guys get robbed because they're actually following the woman. Because these women tell me, hey, meet me at my place, and they show up at this woman's place and they get robbed.
Okay,
Talk about it. Let's talk about
so
it.
here's my
It goes both ways,
question.
though. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It does. So here's
Both
my
sides get
question. So
backdoored.
say you
Go ahead.
so go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was done with my point.
Okay, so do you like?
He got you in a stun
I'm
loop.
asking this question.
He got you in a stun lock.
Is it no? I'm figuring out how to say things in a way where it makes sense. What is it that's off-putting about a woman who doesn't want to meet you on the first jump? Like, say you meet this woman on the dating app, however you meet her, whatever, and say you set up that date of like, oh, I know this great spot for drinks. Well, what if she doesn't want to? What if she's not a person who drinks? What if she's a person who doesn't like alcohol? Would you would you be threatened by the idea to rearrange that date? Or what if some women or what if some women aren't comfortable with just meeting men off the first rip after they get to know them? A lot of things happen in this world, and she may not know your intentions, which is why she may try to ask questions to get to know your personality and intention before setting up that in-person date, because a lot of women aren't comfortable with that. Is that threatening to you as in your leadership and as your role as a man?
Well, I'm gonna say this: if she's not comfortable with me, she is not attracted to me. Period. Trust me, I've done this 10,000 times.
Hold on, time out. I have to cut you off there. How is a random person?
No, we don't cut each other off. No, you flag on the play.
No, because I'm trying to.
So you above the rules now. You above the rules. Chris was right. That's it. It don't matter. This conversation over. Chris was right. Chris is right. Women are the problem. Chris is right.
I'm trying to figure out the logic of that statement. I'm just trying to figure out the logic of that statement. Because if I'm on dating websites and I get this random guy who's like, all right, I want to take you out for drinks and yada yada yada. Why does he expect me to automatically trust him when I just know his name, his age, and that's about it? Why does he expect me to trust him to go on the outing with him?
It's also the profile too. It's also what it's also your pictures. It's also the profile too. Everything must be aligned.
Yeah. And I get both sides of it, which is crazy. I get her side and his side. I don't know who to choose. Like this is
you don't gotta pick a side.
No, I don't, because I get her side. You don't want to link up with somebody real quick because of a backdoor situation, but I get his side because he talking about, okay, we've been talking for 2 weeks. Okay, now when we gonna schedule a real date? So I don't know. It's
I'm not
kind
talking
of
about 2 weeks.
Or like
he's just talking about off rip, not 2 weeks. He's just talking about off rip.
Oh, off rip. Oh no.
Yes.
I have, and this is part of the self-care because I'm having to get myself back together after an exhausting week of dealing with guys.
All right, see,
stuff.
this is you see your week. No. Talking about your week was hard because of your decisions. Don't put it on men.
No,
men didn't ruin your week.
But let me explain. Because I hear, what Chris is saying about, he tried to set up a date and everything like that. And so I guess I'm trying to give my own example. So a guy that just happened to be from California.
I'm muting. And because it doesn't. As soon as she here's why I can't let her fly this, because she has a beef with California and we didn't do nothing to her. Because my thing is this, right? Let me finish. Because if California was so bad, right, and you got all this stigma and the men from Cali are so bad, then what does that say about where you're from? Because you ran from yo people over there to the Cali dudes over here. So it must be even worse over there if you gotta come to the Cali side over here. Like, cause
let's talk
keep it
about
100.
He's on her side.
Let's talk about it. That's a good point.
No, that's
He didn't have to come over here. He
Nah.
was already over there.
yeah, no.
That's a good point, Kites.
Yeah.
That's a real
He
good point.
infiltrated the scene. She was minding her business.
And
Right,
that-
I
and
really
that's-
was. I was minding my business.
Right.
Fucking the
And
dogs.
that's what
I was
what I
chilling.
But so that's my question.
This
So
dude pursued me, but never mind. Anyways, I'm sorry.
But you
I didn't
over
mean to
here on
cut
the
you off.
East Coast though. I mean, you're on
No,
the West
On the
Coast
West
though.
Coast?
You came to the West Coast
Oh, there's
though.
a whole story behind that, love.
Nah,
There's a whole
that's
story.
crazy. That's
No.
crazy. All right, I got you. Go ahead, Keem. I'm joking with you though. I guess it got smoked.
Communication.
Oh, never
I'm
mind.
gonna just be honest. I don't think people got the greatest communication with their own like neighborhood. So
Ooh.
people are not as social as they once was. You know what I mean? So it's easy to get on a platform and then try to be social with people, but people just aren't as social as they once was just in person.
Right.
People don't necessarily just walk around the mall and be like, "Hey, how you doing? My name is so and so."
Right.
People slowly getting away from that. Like our age, if you 30 and up, we still do it, but the generation that's coming under us, they don't really do that for real. They look at you and wait till you get to Instagram and then talk to you later.
And Miles, it's sad because the reason why our relationships is failing is because we dependent on apps and stuff like that. We not going to the club no more. We not going to the mall like the king said. You get what I'm saying? We not having that social interaction like meeting a girl in a parking lot. Your mama and your daddy met in a parking lot. They ain't meet on no Tinder. You get what I'm saying? So let's be real. We got to make better decisions.
I'll double up because Alex said something earlier that was really, great. It's the questioning. I don't think people ask good questions. I mean, if you're trying to get in a relationship, you should have at least in your mind a good 2-3 good questions that you can ask anybody. Even if you got to write it down, just like have a good solid question. Like one of my favorite questions I learned was that icebreaker one where you ask somebody, if you had a superpower, what would it be and how would you use it in the relationship? That's a good question, because it kind of gets you an idea of what the relationship's going to be about. It's like ask good questions. I think people don't communicate good questions. We over here talking about zodiacs and what do you do? And it's like that ain't no like okay, like what's your blood type? Let's ask some real questions. But I mean, people just don't ask good questions.
Yeah, and it's because we meeting off of social media and we rushing everything instead of growing with each other. Like I remember one time I was talking to this chick and like I was talking to her for like a month and she was like, okay, I need to hurry up and see you. But I'm like, hold on, I want to make sure this gonna be a valuable thing. Like I don't want to just rush. And then she's like, all right, I'm just gonna go on to the next. And I'm like, okay, you just showed me that you don't got patience. So that's a huge red flag for me. And like a lot of people just be rushing, like calm down, cool, just go with the vibe. Like, if I'm vibing with you, I'm vibing with you. It ain't no rush between that, But that's all
I
I have
agree
to say.
100%. And I just want to thank everybody for mainly agreeing with me on my side of this whole debate from the beginning, even though we had to be mutual. I know secretly y'all was on my side, so I want to thank y'all for that. I appreciate it. As my stock
I don't know
continues to
about that
rise.
one, buddy.
Bear not about to make. Bear not about to make.
Man, come on, man.
Who was agreeing?
Can I finish what I said about the situation with Monet?
Yeah,
Can I
by all
finish that? If you guys don't
Yeah,
mind.
go by all means.
Oh dang, she got
Okay,
close to the mic. Hold
so
on.
I know right off the bat that woman does not like me because I've been in plenty of situations with these women out here where I said, "Hey, let's meet up for drinks. What evening are you free?" Bam, easy, right? So I know from those situations, that hey, I know there's women out there that will actually meet with me confidently because they actually read my profile, see my pictures, and they like what they saw and heard, and they actually like the assertiveness that I was displaying. That's what it's all about. It's about the behavior of that. That's what they like. Because, man, I've been in so many dates where a woman said, "Man, I just like the way you approach me online and just being assertive." That's what they like.
Can I ask Chris something just real quick? I'm not trying to be funny. Can I just ask just one question?
No.
Just so I need clarity. I went to public school. I need clarity. I'm slow. I ain't gonna lie.
No.
You know, I thought Fatty Goo fatigue. Y'all know that story already. Chris, just so I understand what's going on. So you've done the online thing. You've done multiple. You talked to multiple women, thousands of them, and you've done. I guess you've done the Tinder. You've done the socially and just in person. You've done all these things. Is that correct? I'm just okay. Well, if he ain't answering, I just gotta understand. So he has done all these things, and he has all this experience. I'm really confused as to why you single. And I ain't trying to hit his choice thing. I ain't trying to hit his choice. Why you single and you done went through all of this? I ain't going through half of what you done. I'm good. I'm good. I don't get it.
So is you saying like he should try a different method, like actually
that's
going
a little bit to the
person?
question I was gonna ask.
Well,
I feel like this is not a flock talk. I feel like this is not a flock talk worthy conversation. So
he ain't got the answer, Sway.
All right. So hey, without being for
That's
because
what I believe. I believe that it's better that way. He ain't got the answers.
Yep. I don't believe in asking people.
You're muted.
Yep, it's fine. I could be muted.
But could I say something?
Go ahead.
Hello? Yeah, you all could hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Chris, not from the online perspective, but I agree with Chris in theory. Well, I don't date online personally, right? So I am an in-person guy, a face-to-face guy. But I agree with Chris' position that if a woman is interested in you, if you invite her somewhere, even if she doesn't want to go there, she will pick up the invitation and invite you somewhere else. So in that aspect, I believe that Chris is 100% correct. And if someone doesn't want to go out with you, I'm talking about someone who has known you in real life. And if she doesn't want to go out with you, then that person really isn't interested in you. And I agree with Chris in the sense that since men are the initiators, men more so than women need to pick up on that when a woman is interested in them, because men are really the ones who really push the relationship along. So I agree with Chris from a more fundamental position that yes, he is correct, not from the online nonsense, but just as a universal statement. Men are the initiators, and if a woman isn't interested in you, when you make a move, then that person is probably not interested in you at all. And you need to be able to realize that. So in that aspect, I believe that Chris is correct.
Okay.
All right. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, yes, one last thing, just now. I just wanted to respond to KiteZz, not to Pong KiteZz, but when he talked about dehumanization, you see, I have a problem with that, because to pick up on whether someone is interested in you, you are actually generalizing from your past behavior, you know? So you cannot get away from dehumanizing in the sense that you need to put that person in a box almost immediately. Because if I'm with a woman, but how do I know? I'm drawing on my past experiences. I am distilling that, because I don't know everything about the woman, so you need to generalize. And so I don't agree with KiteZz when he talks about, well, men, we generalizing, we going back to the generation before. I don't know how valid those words are, because I believe that you need to have a certain amount of
I feel like
awareness.
I feel like you probably it's probably a disconnect on the point I was making. I'm speaking in the aspect of the men were getting upset with Chris because Chris was making the statement when they asked, it's like, so the men were getting upset in general about the fact that when it came down to when they were asking Chris the questions about what in this scenario, what if this is the scenario and the female does this, is it the man's fault? And Chris was going in the aspect of no matter what the situation was, it's on the man. And they brought up the different catch-ups on, they brought up examples of like, oh, what about this chick in this catch-up where she did this? And they was like, oh, it's still the man.
Right.
And so
I got you. Yeah. So I got you. And in a sense, actually, Chris is still correct. Okay, because Chris is saying that is always the man's fault, right? No, it is always the man to initiate, right? But do we agree on that statement? The man is always the initiator of a relationship. Even culturally, the burden is put on the man to make the first step. But is that correct?
I would say it's, I don't know, because like this day and age, I can't say that that's factually true anymore because of how Western dating culture is, where a lot of men are demonized or put on bad graces if they make the first advance. Now it's weird because in the West out here, making the advance towards the woman is almost a dying concept because of how men are put on that.
Now I got you, but you mean then the first time knowing the person, but I'm talking about someone who you already know, someone who you already comfortable with,
like initiating.
Even in that situation, from platonic to romantic.
Okay.
The man is supposed to be the initiator, right?
Yes.
In that sense, good. So why I still agree with Chris is that well, if things going bad, well, if it's the man's fault, it's the man's fault, obviously. But even if it's the woman's fault, what Chris is saying is that a lot of times when it is the woman's fault, the woman is giving signs that she is not interested in you, and the man is such a blockhead, he's not picking up on those signs. And I have to agree with him. I would say about 80% of the time, the signs are there. And that's what Chris is actually saying. Chris is saying 80% of the time, the signs are there that this woman is not friggin' interested in you. So why are you still pursuing? Why are you wasting your time? And you can see it from because even when you all are bringing up episodes to contradict Chris, I doubt that you all could give me an episode when there were where there was zero red flags, and the man was just completely blindsided. That is rare. That is absolutely rare. It's rare, right? So in that sense, yes, Chris is still correct that men in this day and age, with so much of advice on relationship and dating and women, a modern day man supposed to have enough wherewithal to realize when there's genuine interest, and I believe that that's what Chris is actually trying to say. You, as a man, as someone who is the initiator, you need to be able to recognize when there's genuine interest. So if a relationship fails, the man is more to blame than the woman. Chris is correct.
So okay, I disagree, and here's why I disagree and this is why I'm saying, this is where we get to a point where this is where I say that the dehumanization of things starts to come into play, is because by that logic, it starts making it into a scenario that women are not capable of doing their own thing, that women are not capable of making their own decisions, that women are not capable of having moments where they could be completely into somebody and then suddenly lose interest in somebody. Prime example, in the catch-up that we reacted on Twitch, even though the chick was completely just, I think the chick was completely just out of whack and in the wrong, because she said the statement of, yeah, I was in the car, we were in the car together and we were going to the club, and when we got to the club, I said I wanted some water, and he didn't go get me the water with urgency, so that right then and there, I felt like something was wrong. Now, what is that dude supposed to do in a scenario where a woman lost interest with you because you didn't go get water fast enough? You get what I'm saying? Because we can only take it from surface value of what she's saying. She could potentially have never had interest in him to begin with, but she also chose him. But then it's also in the aspect of that genuinely could have been the thing that made her lose interest. But my thing is, when it comes down to that, a woman lost interest in the man because he didn't get water urgently. We're acting like that. Even the guy is like, it's shame on him. He should have known better. That girl likes sparkling water. He should have had it already then and there. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I say we're starting to take out natural human things that humans do, and we're separating it because we're just like, but he's a man and she's a woman. And it's like, that's where I'm not agreeing with that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. Now I agree that, and that's why I preface everything that I said by stating that I don't agree with online dating, right? And I don't agree with speed dating. I believe in meeting someone in person first, and if you like what this person's saying, if you like this person by idiosyncrasy, then you make a move. And what I'm saying is, if that step is first taken, you will pick up on whether this person, for example, look at the last catch up with the guy who was 7 minutes late to the date, right? And what I'm saying is, in real life, if he had actually had a conversation with that woman before, he would have picked up on that aspect of insecurity about her, and he would have known that this is a red flag. But because and that's why I am saying that the format for Pop the Balloon is flawed, and it needs to change, because that stage where you can actually feel out someone's insecurities is skipped. If he had that stage, he would have picked up on that. But because that stage was
I'm sorry.
Right. So what I'm saying is that your example with the girl and the guy going to the club is not analogous, because what I'm saying is, before there's a first initiation, that phase must go through first.
Okay,
where you feel out first.
But then we're able to take that into real life. There's plenty of scenarios of couples that have started and they were made based off of just the people ended up being friends. They ended up aligning. They ended up feeling like they were the perfect match for each other. And then they got in it, and the guy was doing his thing. He was holding it down, and the woman ended up losing interest in the man, not because anything that the man wasn't doing, that the man did wrong, but because she saw another man do something, and that thing that she saw that other man do for another woman, she wanted but didn't communicate it with him, and ended up leaving him for that other man. Because if that's the case, that's like us saying men are responsible for getting cheated on, even though the woman had free will to cheat, and a lot of the reasons why she cheated may not even have had sound reasoning. You get what I'm saying? It's like, and that's why I don't agree with Chris in the aspects of, is because that mindset, it takes accountability off of women's plate. It takes it off completely.
Okay, yeah. But what I'm saying is that I'm glad that you raised the point of cheating. Cheating doesn't happen in a vacuum, and it is the rare case where there were no red flags. And that's what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that men, if you had good upbringing, and if you are aware, if you approach dating as how it should be approached, almost 190% of the time, the man is always accountable. And that's my position. I actually agree with Chris. It is very rare for you to be totally blindsided completely by a woman, by not knowing, by she holding on so much and hiding what she really is. That does not happen.
Okay, so then how about this? Not trying to be rude or anything, but I feel like I feel like the perfect way for this whole discussion to be gone. Alex, how do you feel as a woman on this conversation? And if Alex is unfair because she's my wife, I encourage any of the females to raise their hand and put their input, because I'm feeling like in my stance, I feel like when we take the accountability of and capabilities of what a woman does and is capable of doing, and we say, yeah, a woman did this, but it's a man's fault she did this, where it's almost
Oh,
like
just one slight correction. I am
okay.
not saying that it's a man's fault that she did it. I am saying that it's a man's fault if he doesn't pick up on what she's doing.
But then throughout
There's
all
a
of but
difference.
history is riddled with examples of women manipulating men to get things. Like there's whole wars fought off of men doing things and they're not seeing the signs and they're not doing all that. And yeah, we can say the man, shame on that man.
But just that statement, they're not seeing the signs. But what I'm saying is there are signs. That is my point. My point is there are signs that the man is overlooking or that he's not cued into because of his upbringing.
But the whole word
what I'm saying is it's very rare that a woman is being manipulative and there's no signs that she is actually being that way.
I feel like the word we
So
wouldn't
that's
have
why
we wouldn't have the
for
word.
that reason
I don't
why
believe
I am always holding the man up
I don't
accountable
believe
because there are always signs.
I get what you're saying, but I believe that we wouldn't have the word blindside if blindside wasn't capable by anything. The whole fact that we have the word being blindsided, the expression being blindsided in a relationship is for the fact that people are caught off guard. And I feel like to say that a man, it doesn't matter how great your upbringing is, it's human nature that things happen off guard. You can't prepare for everything. There are relationships where the relationship was perfect for 20 plus years and somebody stepped out, man or woman, and it completely blindsided the partner. You get what I'm saying? The whole concept of blindsiding is the fact that it is unpredictable. And so when we say that when we're saying in the aspect of a man with a good upbringing wouldn't be blindsided, that's unrealistic. Because humans, you're not going to, it doesn't matter how strong your intuition you think you are or how intelligent you are, blindsiding can happen to anyone, even from somebody so close to you. You can get blindsided as a boy, you can be blindsided by your own mother, you can be blindsided by your own sister, you can be blindsided by your brother. And so to say that it's a man's job to never be blindsided, that's also in an aspect of, and you say you disagree. So what do you mean you disagree? You can be blindsided by anyone. See, this is unrealistic.
All right,
this is unrealistic.
All right.
I feel like we're talking in circles at this point.
Go ahead. Okay, so Alex, I asked, what is your opinion on it?
I no longer have an opinion because I feel like we're talking in circles at this point. Like, I feel like I do agree. Like, if you do, when you say things like that, you take the responsibility of women, because I feel like a lot of times, we get underestimated in the things that we are capable of doing, but because you don't see it how we do it, y'all don't think we're not doing it. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Hello?
No, I heard you.
Yeah,
I think people are just processing the statement. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But me as well. But I was processing. But what I'm saying is, okay, just to respond to KiteZz. KiteZz is correct, you know. Someone could be blindsided, but what I'm saying is the things that these men are blindsided by, the impatience, the insecurities, they're so big. So what I'm saying, yes, it's not subtle from what we're seeing from the episodes. There is no big subtlety with the sort of manipulation that these women would do it. It was basic run-of-the-mill manipulation, and that's the point that I'm making. Yes, you could be blindsided, but it should be at a certain level, at a certain dimension. But these basic forms of manipulation, and these men can't see through. So that's what I'm saying, and that's why I am blaming them. So yes, it is not all or nothing, right? So it's not like if I'm 100% correct and KiteZz is 0%, or he is 100 and I'm 0. But what I'm saying is, the forms of manipulation that we are seeing from Pop the Balloon. Okay, but I'll ask KiteZz, but do you view them as anything very Machiavellian and complex, or is it basic?
From the matches of Pop the Balloon?
Yeah, when the women were being manipulative, but would you say that they were complex and deeply plotting, or was it just basic manipulation?
I could say that I feel like it was. I understand. We're on time. It's all good. I feel like I can say that there are points where the manipulation was something that was I wouldn't have expected a single man to have expected some of the manipulations that have been involved in the show. And then there are some very obvious signs of manipulation, because I feel like there's a certain few catch-ups where we were just listening to how the female was portraying the story and how she was presenting the story. And it's like, I ain't gonna lie, bro, this sounds like old boy is getting played. Like, this old boy is getting wrapped up. He's getting caught off guard in this. But I wouldn't say it's so grand as to be like, this is like, oh my God, this woman just played the greatest chess play of humanity on this man and he got blown out by it. But then I feel like this question can't really be valid, because we just had this whole point where you made the statement about how you feel like online dating and you feel like speed dating and stuff like that, we don't agree with it. So it's like, we can't use that as
getting played without the speed dating, without the online dating.
Right. And I'm glad you said that, because that goes to a point I was feeling, and this is why I'm standing on my argument the whole time, is because we wouldn't know that there's a play or a manipulation unless the tactic worked so much that we had to start identifying it. You wouldn't know that somebody's manipulating unless there is a manipulation so effective that somebody somewhere had to be like, hey gang, I'm starting to peep the signs of it. That's how tactics work. You learn the tactics because it's constantly used and you have to start adapting to it. So there had to be long lines of men who fell for the same tactic over and over and had that conversation of, dang, you fell for that too? 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 And then it turns into okay, cool, I'ma teach you game. So next time a shorty do that to you, now we remember what that last shorty did. So it's like, to say that, and that's what I'm saying, we're dehumanizing, because we're kind of taking that capability of women being able to do these things by just saying it's man's fault, it's man's fault, it's man's fault, it's man's fault. If I'm making any sense.
Oh, it made sense. But I think that but I will always disagree with you. So I think that we could agree to disagree peacefully. Okay. But I would say, because the man is the initiator, and because the manipulation is not no second level, it's just basic. But as you say, is that you heard from somebody else and she did that to you as well, which means that if you would just if you had proper not even proper, if you would just aware, if you just had a decent upbringing, it should have been obvious. That's my point.
I thought this at you.
But for you, it should not have known. But what I'm realizing is that for you, it shouldn't. I think the problem is, for me, it should be obvious, but for you, it didn't have to be obvious, and that is a personal judgment. So I wouldn't want to impose my subjectivity on you.
If anything, I'm understanding what you're saying. The point I'm trying to make is, for us to have these things where we label as manipulation or tactics that men fall for, that means that this had to have been an effective tactic that men had to start paying attention to it. And if anything, we're saying the same thing, because you're talking about the upbringing. And if you had a proper upbringing, you wouldn't fall for these tactics. Okay, but who in your upbringing had to fall for the tactics to have to identify it, to teach you that? You get what I'm saying?
Correct. Yeah.
And that's all. And my thing is, so I feel like when I say we're dehumanizing women, it's because when we're talking about women, we're saying, oh, but as a man, you should protect this. As a man, you should be aware of this. As a man, you should be able to. But we're completely ignoring the free will aspect that women have. And that's why I said it's almost starting to feel like we're putting women in a category where we're treating them as cattle, and we're saying, oh, this behavior is ABC because as cattle you're going to do ABC, when it's the aspect of women can be as crafty as they want to be, women can be as uncrafty as they want to be, and it's impossible for a man to be able to predict every single thing. Because at the end of the day, a man is, you can have 100 men in the same room and have them date 100 women. And at the end of the day, if they all 100 men break up, the reasoning or the things that happen are not going to be the same across all 100 women. But to say it's all 100 men's fault is crazy, because that means all 100 men just failed to be at 100% at alert. That's crazy. You get what I'm saying?
But that's only if when you investigate the reasons they were victims to basic forms of manipulation.
Yeah.
But I just want to clarify that. And what I'm saying, from what I have seen from Pop the Balloon,
right,
I have only seen basic forms of manipulation.
Okay, that's fair.
That's why I am coming down so hard on the men. I am coming down hard on the men, but like Chris, because I have only seen basic forms of manipulation. I haven't seen a case where a woman really. Well, probably there was one with an African guy, and there was this tall woman, and the both of them went into finance. But the guy wasn't looking. But then even the fact that he wasn't looking all of that, he should have been aware of that as well. So that should have been in his mind. Hey, and this woman, she is very beautiful. So he should have realized there was that. So that's the only time when I saw something that was on the verge of being complex. But even thinking about it, it was still a basic. So, so that's my point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see the point you're making.
But I am not saying that your point is not valid, because because you can't be blindsided, right? So I'm not saying that is never the case. All right.
I think I think the ground where I get what your point. I get the point, because what you're saying, that I understand what you're saying. It's the signs and manipulations that was used on Pop the Balloon in these situations have been some very obvious signs. So it's like they're not correct. Using anything that is crafty. Like some of the things these guys are falling for, it's like, come on, gang. Like even while we're reacting, we're like, bro, you didn't see that coming? Like, so I can understand that. I think the reason why I'm going at it is I'm going at it from the aspect of like completely as a whole, not just to the show. Because when Chris makes these statements, he tends to speak as women as a whole in situations, men as a whole in situations. And that's why I'm like, that's unrealistic. That's unrealistic in the world.
Yeah. But so that's why I said that I agreed with him in theory. Yeah? But notice I mentioned and specify that in theory. Right. Yeah, but not how he practices it. Yeah, so you're correct. So I agree with you there. It is not in each and every situation. So I agree with you on that score. Yeah.
Okay. Chris, you had something to say? Thank you, Universal. I'm glad we had that conversation, man. Chris, you had something to say? I guess not. Can y'all hear him? But yeah, Universal, I get what you're saying. That's a good conversation, though. But he's coming back. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. What happened, Chris?
Okay, so let me clear this up. What I'm talking about is social awareness. That's all I'm talking about. Reading the room. That's what I'm saying. So if I approach Renee, Ray, or whatever her name is, shout out to you, by the way. And if I say, hey, how are you doing? And she says, fine. I notice that he's not interested in talking to me. But if I come out her and say, hey, what's up, Renee? Hey, I'm going, how are you doing? I notice that she's actually interested in talking to me. That's what I'm talking about, is social awareness. So
I disagree with that point. I disagree with that point. I disagree with that point because there are people who are introverts and extroverts, and
you can't read them at all.
Yeah, a prime example. When I spoke to Alex is an introvert. Our first conversations with Alex was not talkative with me. I was the talkative one in there. I opened her up. Alex was giving me one word short responses, but in those responses, I never got the feeling that she wasn't interested in what I was saying. I got the feeling of, hey, this a big black dude in a football jersey coming up to me in the middle of a library. Why is there a football player in the library to begin with? You get what I'm saying? Especially when all the football players, we was thugs. So you get what I'm saying? So it's more of like, I feel like I gotta disagree because introverts and extrovertism is a thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
That can't happen. I can relate to that, but I'm just going off of my own personal experience, because have I dated women that said, "Hey, I don't drink and all that stuff." Yes, I had, and it excuse me,
No,
and it
you
has
good.
always ended bad. It has always ended bad because that woman wasn't really into me. Like if I'm dealing with a woman that shows up 25 minutes late on a date, I already know that date is going south already. Just by the behavior, just by the disrespect of time. See what I'm saying? So I know this stuff just from personal experience because I've actually experienced this over and over again. So I already know just from seeing that, hey, I know when this woman shows this type of behavior towards me, she's actually into me because I've actually experienced this once before. So matter of fact, there was a woman probably about a month ago, like she was from Atlanta and she came up to see me last month. That showed that she was really into me. Right? So I know from that action that this particular woman was into me. She liked being around me. She liked uh spending time with me. I know straight
When a
up.
man flies a woman out, does that mean he's actually interested in her?
Well, the problem is that is actually simping. I'm gonna actually explain why.
Dang.
I'm gonna explain why.
Okay.
That's called being a simp. That's called being a simp because if that woman was actually into that man, she would actually use her own resources and do that. And
What
there's
if the
plenty
man
of videos.
offers?
What do you say?
What if the man offers? Because a lot of times it seems like it's just being offered. Now women expect it. I can admit that, but now it's in the beginning it seemed like it was just being offered a lot.
Hold on, like you can't call everybody a simp just because they want to do a good gesture. What if that's in their heart to do, and they not doing it just because like that ain't right what you just said. Like
I've
respectfully, and
experienced that before.
I
Seriously, I've experienced. I've actually done that, and it ended terrible. I've done it.
but this the thing, Chris. You can't compare people off of just one bad situation that you had. Everybody is different.
True.
Everybody got different upbringings. You get what I'm saying? So just because one female might do you wrong, you can't shut down to the next female because that might be the female that you
That do
put a
you
ring
right.
on it. Like, dang, she changed my life. You shutting off because you have a defense mechanism, bro. And I'm saying that out of love. You feel me? Because I appreciate you coming up here and spreading that, but don't shut your don't cause that's one side of thinking, bro. You can't think like that. You shutting down because you got a defense mechanism, you know? Respectfully.
Respectfully.
Oh, not at all. Not once again, I see patterns. I see, hey, that woman is showing interest in me. That woman is not showing interest in me. And believe me, the women that show not interest in me, I'm telling you, they can get you into some pretty crazy situations
Yeah,
if you're actually not careful.
We
Trust,
agree.
yeah,
I,
cause
I'm
yeah,
telling,
I get,
I'm telling you
I
from
get
experience.
we get what you saying because we know you, but if you say that in other spaces, they gonna take it as like, oh, this guy is, and you not like that, Chris, because you said a lot of valid things, but just don't say it in that way because it make you look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You kind
I
of
think
got to
it's
explain,
I think
right?
the I
Because
think
we
the
know
reason
you.
I think the reason why Chris I think the reason why people give you so much pushback on the statements you say is because when you say a statement and then you follow it up with I'm saying this through personal experience, it goes back into the fact that the expression is like everybody's experience is not going to be the same. And so it's in the mindset of if there's a million men named Chris and they look like you and they are statured like you, no matter if you teach all a million Chris's the same information, if you put them in different areas and have them start and have them just do that at that different way, all a million Chris's are going to end up with a different story. They're going to end up with a different conclusion, a different outlook, and a different story, even though they all started off the same. And it's just because they're not going to all experience the same lessons. They're not going to all have the same experience with women. There's going to be a couple hundred Chris's that get married. There's going to be 100 couple Chris's that don't get married. There's going to be some Chris's that never even tried. There's going to be some Chris's that try too much. It's because it's going to be based off of the interactions that these Chris's are getting. And so when you're telling people, I have this experience, and I've also talked to people who relate to my experience, so this must be how it goes. But then it's eliminating the fact that there's a million different people who can have all went through the same scenario and got a million different results, even though they could have all did the same tactic. You get what I'm saying? That's why people, when they hear it, they're like, gang, you saying your experience, but it's like, all right, but let's talk about like in general though, because your experience is not the general experience. Just like people that say, oh, I experienced racism. There's gonna be somebody next to them like, I ain't never experienced racism for this. We just had a whole conversation about the race thing. You feel what I'm saying? There's gonna be people that say like, oh, I've never had a bad experience with this group of people. But then there's gonna be those people that, man, every time I'm around those people, they treat me this way. But then if they both make a statement of these people are bad because they do this, people are gonna be like, nah, that's never happened to us. But these people are good because they do this. Well, nah, that's never happened to us. But it doesn't matter about the. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's kind of like the statement where women always say like all men cheat because they've experienced
cheating.
One or two men that have cheated on them. So when you put people in a box or you put people in a category and you expect this out of this group of people, you can meet somebody that has the same like similar, I guess, like interests as the last person had, but they're the opposite of that, if that makes sense. You know, there could be somebody like a lot of people don't like to date single mothers. Well, when I dated a single mother, I went through this, and this. But when you meet another single mother, she may not be the same as the last one. But because you had a bad experience with the single mother, you have to put them specifically in that box. So I'm not gonna touch that anymore because single mothers is just a no-go for me. It didn't work out with that one, so I don't want to even try to bother with the next one.
Because you're generalizing. You're generalizing people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You putting people in the box.
I get what y'all are saying. Not at all. Once again, I'm using discernment. So if I had a business, right, and I saw, okay, these people are stealing, and I noticed a pattern of people that steal, I'm going to use discernment. That's all that I'm doing. I'm actually using discernment, seeing that, okay, this woman is interested in me and this woman is not. Yes, I get what you guys are saying, but I'm also using discernment. Because once again, I was in a relationship for 2 years with a woman, and it went well. We didn't argue or anything, but the reason why it went well because I actually set up the situation and actually led the situation. And she actually liked that about me. She really liked that, and she had the utmost respect for me because of that. And I knew just from spending time with her that I wanted this woman to become my girl because she was following my lead, and she never gave me any issues because she liked me. She actually desired that out of me. So I'm not just saying this speaking out of my butt. I'm speaking from personal experience, and it was a peaceful relationship. And the reason why I get on here and talk this, I want men to experience peace. That's what I want for all you men on here. I want you men to experience peace and not chaos.
So okay.
Every time I got around her, it was peaceful. Go ahead.
Okay, so I feel like I feel like here's why the generalization is not okay. And I saw Universal say there's nothing wrong with putting people in boxes. It's the fool who does not put people in boxes. Here's why I disagree with that. That's not Christ-like. That's not a Christ-like statement. And I'm going to give you a prime example of how that's not a Christ-like statement. We see that in the last years of Jesus, right? in those last moments of Jesus, where Jesus was being beaten, he was being treated by the Roman guards, he was being treated the way by the Roman centurions, and he was being treated that way. Jesus got that horrible treatment from those guards at that point period in life, right? But if you actually look early into Matthew, around Matthew chapter 5, and it's the story of when Jesus had to be, where they were compelled to carry the Romans' gears. That him and the disciples were being told to carry the Roman gear. It was a Roman law that if Romans pass by you and they see you, you have to carry their gear, their soldiers' gear, you have to carry it for a mile. That is Roman law. You carry it for a mile, and then once that mile is up, because you have to help the guards, that way the guards don't burn out. Jesus told the guards, and he taught his followers to go the extra mile for those Roman guards. So once he passed that mile, the guards were ready to take their gear back, and he told his disciples, oh, let's keep walking with their gear. And they went and carried another mile of that with the Roman gear. Jesus didn't compel and say that, oh, these Romans that I carried the gear for, because at the end of the day, when they stopped carrying the gear and they gave those gears back, it completely changed the perspective of the Romans in general. Jesus didn't box those Roman guards in with the same Roman guards that were beating him. So it's like we shouldn't be putting people in a box, because at the end of the day, all sin. What did Jesus say? He said that no sin is greater than another sin, right? But we also understand that there's the sin of murder, and then we also understand the sin of life. They both lead to the same thing, but there's still consequences greater that on this earth we're going to have towards those sins. Now in heaven, their sins are going to be treated equal, but it goes into any man that murders. Okay, so if you kill somebody, you're a murderer. But then what about war? If you kill a man in war, you're not a murderer. You get what I'm saying? But you're saying, oh, because you killed a man, you're a murderer. But what happens when God tells you to pick up your sword and go fight? So when you go fight and you slay that man, you slay the man that God told you to kill, are you a murderer now, or are you a murderer for God? You get how that generalization is dangerous? There's a difference between a soldier and a killer. There's a difference between a witch and a prophet. You get what I'm saying? A witch feels like they can talk to spirits and all that, but a prophet can talk to spirits and discern spirits and cast spirits. You get what I'm saying? That generalization is dangerous. No. So the thing is, characteristics of a good wife is not generalization. That's telling you traits and behaviors that are a standard, meaning that these are just good standards to grow into. Not every woman that is a good wife in the Bible fit into them standards at that point. They were allowed to either grow into or they didn't. But there's plenty of relationships and marriages. Let's look at the couple that tried to lie and they allowed them to fall dead. In their marriage, we don't know if she was a good wife to him or not. But we know that their sin together caused them to die. But we don't know if she was a good wife to him or not. But she lied on the Holy Spirit. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we can't. It's bad to do that, because you're casting preconceived judgments, and the Bible tells us to judge righteously. But you're judging off of you're putting women into a box just because you hear the start of their story. You're not learning their story at all. You're making a judgment because, oh, I ran into a single mother, and the single mother was that she did that because she cheated on her husband. So now that I've experienced a single mother who cheated on her husband that broke her home, I'm going to put her in a box with all single mothers now. So now all single mothers cheat and break up their homes. But in that category of single mothers, there are single mothers who were 100% committed to their husbands, and their husbands cheated. But you just boxed her in there. So now you're saying she's just as guilty as the husband. She's just as guilty as the woman that cheated, even though she was the victim. That's the dangerous part about generalizations.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Universal.
So I'm just trying to find out from you, because I know that I agree with you that King Lemuel's mother did give him traits and characteristics to look out for.
Right.
And I want to know, how is that different from generalizations?
So generalizations, right? So let's look at the definition of what a generalization is. A statement or concept obtained by inference on a specific case. Okay, let's look at what inference is. A conclusion reached on the basis of evidence and reasoning, right? So this is inference. Setting a standard of what God set, right? That is a standard to be, meaning that this is what, when these standards that I created, this is the sign of a good person. Or a person that would be suitable for a wife. These are the characteristics. But the problem is generalizing with it is saying all women should have these standards completely, and you're eliminating the fact that there are women that, yeah, exactly, automatically you're eliminating the fact that there are women who don't meet those standards who can eventually at a point get to that standard. The standard is set to say that this is the bar that you should reach, but you can't immediately say this woman meets this box already based off of the interaction that I had with her this far, but this woman doesn't. And it could end up being that the woman that you said met those standards and you generalized her as a good wife could have actually had the things that were wrong and she wasn't holding up to those standards. But the one you overlooked because you looked at her and you didn't give her the understanding and you just generalized her off of one conversation, she ended up being the one that God can move and God can put. Because remember, the Bible says God will open any door that no man can close and close doors that no man can open. So it's not your job to sit there and say this person can't walk through that door because you looked and you feel like they're not able to go through that door. God decides who is going to be able to go to that door. You can have your discernment based off of, if you watch this person commit crime 10 times, you can say, okay, this person is a criminal because I watched them commit the crime 10 times. But you don't get to do and watch them steal one time and be like, oh yeah, this person's a hardened thief. Because then you actually look at why they did what they did, stealing for survival versus stealing because you enjoy stealing. There's a difference between a thief of survival and a kleptomaniac. There's a difference between a person. But
I think that you're slightly shifting the goalpost a little. Because remember, Chris is making generalizations based on person character traits, and he's saying that, well, if you're seeing this, hey, run, and if you're not seeing this, right? I don't believe he is saying that when you see these good traits, that is a 100% match for the rest of your life. And I don't believe that even in the Proverbs, Lemuel's mother was telling him that when he sees this in a woman, that this is a great life for the rest of his, a great match as a wife for the rest of his life. She is just saying that with given all the other probabilities, if you're seeing this, you're more than likely to be happy, right? And because she doesn't even know the woman that Lemuel is good, so it has to be generalizations because he hasn't even got the woman as yet.
Okay,
remember,
the Bible says you will know.
If it wasn't just but let me just funny because remember the point is she making generalizations? How could you not make generalizations if the person is not even in existence? It has to be.
Because she's making it standards off of, was she a wife when she said those statements?
Yes.
Okay, so she is a wife and she considered herself a good wife. So she's saying, as a person who my husband says I'm a good wife, and I'm living in life as a good wife, so I'm gonna teach my child, hey, these are the things that a good wife does. These are the standards of things that a good wife does. But she doesn't know these people enough to know whether that person is a good wife or not. These are things you can look for, but the problem is you still have to go and experience those things before you can say that these people do this. Now, the problem with people are having with Chris is going, oh, if a girl asks too many questions, she's not interested in you. That's a generalization. So a woman asking too many questions is not interested in you. That's not true, because we seen even in Pop the Balloon, we saw an entire catch up where the woman was asking the dude question after question after question after question after question, and even us in the reaction was like, girl, she just asking questions. They ended up working out. You see how his generalization didn't work because she didn't fit in that generalization. And so we're saying you can't generalize people because we can't generalize people just because you think their story sounds similar to something you know, because you don't know that person's story. You just
Alright,
like
so but let me ask you this. Yeah, no, I'm getting that. So and I accept that. But let me ask you this.
okay.
With the advice that King Lemuel's mother gave him, would there be women throughout history who didn't match up to her standard who still turned out to be good wives?
I feel like that question's impossible because not everybody's history is recorded. I feel like that. I feel like that would be a disingenuous question because there's plenty of people's stories that they could have actually did everything as a good wife and still it ended up going wrong, but it's not recorded. Remember
that's the point. But that's the point. But that is the point. That is the point. But what I'm saying is, what you can say about Chris is that his generalization might be a bit too specific, and that's why I agree with him, and that's why I said that I only agree with him in theory. But to say that it's not valid, because if you take 100 study cases and you go through what he's saying, I would believe 80% of the time when someone is asking all of those questions, because when somebody is in love, I mean, half of the questions that person asking is as Chris saying, it is completely irrelevant, and more often than not, it is an indication that this person really not interested because they need some external assurance. Your person is not enough, and they need assurance. That's why they're asking those questions.
Okay.
I'm not saying all the time, right? I'm not saying all the time, but what I'm saying is that 80% of the time when someone is asking those additional questions, you need to question yourself, am I enough? Or is it a case that this person is feeling insecurity, so they need something to ease their mind? And I agree with that.
Okay, if a person goes up to you and she says, "Hey, you guys are on a date, you guys are sitting there," and she goes, "What's your favorite movie?" Do you feel like that question is a waste of time question, or do you feel like that's a good question?
It's a good question, but as Chris was saying, remember, because just now, I think you misunderstood what he said. He was saying that you already in a conversation, the conversation is already going a certain way. For somebody to bring up that in that conversation, that's what his point was, because I listened to the guy. He's saying that if you are pushing X narrative and the conversation is going one way, and then somebody brings up that goes counter to the narrative that you are trying to set for the evening, then yes, it could be an inappropriate question, yes. And that is what he was saying. But he wasn't saying that ontologically it's inappropriate. And he's saying that for the time and the place that you choose to bring this up when I am already talking about X.
But then this goes back to why people didn't agree with him, is because even how you're breaking it down, that's not how it was said. And that's the one thing, it's important to make sure it's said that way. That's why everybody wouldn't have came to the conclusion. Everybody would not have came to the conclusion that Chris is generalizing people if he wasn't showing traits of a generalization. You get what I'm saying?
Wait, hold on. I am saying that generalizations in and of themselves are not wrong, and I am also saying that generalizations are in the Bible.
We're not rejecting
and the Bible gives right. So what I'm saying is the specific generalization that Chris might be given may be wrong, but that doesn't mean that generalizations in themselves we shouldn't be guided by them, because that seemed to be what you were saying. You were saying that we should never be guided. To me, what I was just not what I'm saying, but what I was getting from you is that we should never be guided by generalizations.
Because you shouldn't be guided by generalizations on people that you do not have the interaction with.
I'm generalizing a woman.
Huh? What happened? What did he say?
I don't know.
Somebody said something, so I'm listening.
What happened, Chris?
My bad. I was reacting to what Monet said in the chat. My bad. Excuse me on that.
Oh, I was like, what? What's going on? What do you gotta say? That cut me off.
All right.
Okay. This is the point. Dang, I didn't forget. Okay. What was I about to say?
But we're talking about generalizations.
Right. And I was saying, I do understand why generations exist, right? But the Bible also says you should know the fruit by what you should know the tree by the fruit it bears, right? But my thing is, you have to be able to grow that tree and be able to experience that tree to see it, right? So for instance, or in scenarios like we're talking about in a new tree, if you get a whole bunch of seeds, right, and you don't know which seed it is, you just have 3 different types of seeds. They're all different types, but you don't know what type of seed it is. You have to cultivate and grow that tree to the point where it bears fruit, right? But you can't.
But hold on. Remember, the trees in our case represent women. Just now, so careful. So you don't what I'm saying. You don't have the time to cultivate. Listen to what I'm saying. I agree with you that just hold on. What I'm saying, I agree with you. By the fruit you will know a tree. I have no problem with that. But what I'm saying, in the case of courtship and marriage, the tree here represents women, which you don't have the time to get to know what fruit they're going to give. So you need to generalize, but you need to.
No, that I disagree because I disagree.
That means you're just impatient to know what fruit they're gonna bear.
Because here's why I strongly disagree with that. Because how are you supposed to know that this is a Proverbs woman if you haven't had the conversations? There's no way for you to know that she's a good house care unless you have that conversation to gain that information. There's no way you're supposed to know if she's a woman that loves her man with her heart. There's no way for you to know if she's a woman that is obedient and submissive to her husband unless you have those conversations. But you're not going to get that off of, oh, she asked me too many questions, she's not a good woman. That's not telling you anything because you're not getting the time to do that. And that's why we're saying it's bad to generalize, because you're making that full assessment over a list of categories that a woman should have to be a Proverbs woman. You're giving her a list, but you're making that inference that she doesn't meet that list off of one or a small conversation. And that's what we're saying. Now, if you experience this woman over a date and you've had weeks or a couple days to get this information over this woman may be a Proverbs woman, that's different. If she falls into that box that she's not, I understand. That doesn't mean she can't get to that point, but I understand why you came to that. But the reason why we're going at Chris is these are very surface level reasons that you're generalizing the women, but you don't know these women and you haven't had these conversations with these women because you're talking about, oh, I went on a date and I heard a woman say this. So now any woman that says this, 100% she's the same as her. And that's where I'm saying, no, that's a dangerous generalization. That's why I'm saying I can't agree with that. Am I making sense?
But you're not saying that all generalizations are invalid.
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying people are capable of falling into that generalization, and people are also capable of falling out. But you can't put them in there off of a small interaction. You get what I'm saying? You can't just
I agree
people
with
into it. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I agree with that. But it came across as if you were saying that all generalizations were invalid. No. Okay. Well, that's where I misunderstood. And but I agree with you, remember, because I disagree with the whole online dating.
Yeah.
But shenanigan to begin with. So I agree with you, yes, because online dating, there's so much not there in the interaction, the facial expressions, the body language, everything, but you have none of that to go on. It may just go going on with. So I agree with you. It's just a small data sample that you have to go on. Yeah, so I agree with that. Okay. Yeah, but I was just also what I really commenting on was it seemed as if you all were saying that no generalization is a valid form of decision making. And that's where I had a problem with. Surface level, of course not. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. Cool. All right. Shout out to you, Universal. All right, y'all. Alex, you got anything you want to say, my dear?
No, I do not, dear. Really don't.
All right, y'all. This has been. We ain't had a long vlog talk like this in a minute, man.
In a while.
Hey, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at the conversations because at the end of the day, we'll never know the results of these, and we'll never know how to think on these if we don't talk. So shout out to Universal because I like the back and forth, but that's prime example though. That goes how me and Universal were able to have that conversation is prime example of what I was talking about earlier with the whole like the different sides disrespectors. We don't have with us disagreeing. It's that conversation that we can make that conversation grow. But the shaming things just because you don't agree with what I'm saying, that's where I disconnect. So if people saying I don't want, as a black person, I don't want to be involved with the riots, and you're shaming them saying, how dare you not go be in those riots? Because I'm in the riots. You're not understanding why I feel the way I feel to not be in those riots. So I'm glad me and Universal had that back and forth, because that ultimately goes to what I'm saying. That's what people need to do. The way me and Universal had this conversation and came to the conclusion, that's what everybody needs to do as a whole in the world. Have that conversation. Yeah. It's okay things will get heated, but at the end of the day, y'all come to a conclusion and y'all come to I agree, I disagree. It's okay if we agree to disagree, but we had the conversation. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I like to think it.
Y'all always have good conversations.
Yeah, I love Universal, man. He be checking me, man. But he be making me think, and I like that. But shout out to everybody that came to tonight's Flock Talk. Shout out to everybody if you came late, unfortunate, but it's all good. Y'all know the Flock Talk will be posted. I hope everybody had a good conversation. If you guys are not done talking, go in chilly mode, talk y'all talk, man. Go have your conversation in chilly mode. Respectfully. But with all being said, I thank y'all. This is Flock Talk 30, and hey, peace.